What's up, everybody? Welcome to the first installment of something tentatively known as GOTY Gang, unless I think of a better name before this goes live. I am one of your 5 co-hosts, Tanner, and with me today, I was trying to figure out how to point, but we're doing Discord. So everybody just introduce themselves at once, or just whatever y'all are feeling.
No, that's a terrible idea.
Amazing.
That's awful.
I'm Skylar.
So much prep you did for this, Tanner. You fucked this up already.
No, I Well, okay. So full disclosure, I'm sick as fuck right now, but I'm ready. I have a Rocephin shot. I have the steroid coursing through my body. I just ate 2 pieces of Hawaiian pizza from Domino's, and I got a nice.
That's what I love when I'm sick.
Is that sarcasm?
I usually don't go for pizza when I'm sick.
Well, it's just strep. It's not like I'm actually sick. It's just like my throat hurts. Like
Now's the perfect time to do a podcast.
Yeah. When I woke up this morning and people introduced themselves. Sam introduced themselves as Skylar, but nobody else said their name.
Oh, yeah, I'll go then. Hi, I'm Bronson Lee. If you know me from Twitter or other places, you don't. So, hello. Welcome to the podcast. Glad you're here. Who else wants to go? Who wants to go next?
Sure, I'll hop in. I'm Skylar. I work in video games, so I am unfortunately too close to the sun. I hate playing them now, so that'll be reflected today.
Oh boy.
Hell yeah. I'm Chris. I like playing games on my computer.
Whoa.
Interesting. Very interesting.
I'm Sam. I don't know. I record podcasts occasionally with Tanner. That's my life's work.
Wait a minute. Hang on now. This feels like a setup. I was told this would be an independent tribunal, but I see Tanner and Sam have already teamed up.
Also, Sam and I don't think we've recorded a podcast together in like 2 years.
It's a long con.
Here's the point of this whole podcast. So we came up with this idea probably like a year and a half ago, or I did. Where we're gonna go every year of the 2010s, year by year, starting with 2010, and narrowing it down to a top 10 games of the year. And then after we finish the 2010s, we are then going to combine all the top 10 lists and do a best game of the decade. So this is the first installment. Today, we are going through 2010 in video games. And I guess that's kind of it. Very simple concept, pretty straightforward. We're going to go through, so we have, let me look, last count, 62 games. And we are going to dwindle it down to a top 10 that we have to agree on. So it's kind of old Giant Bomb style, like just straight up. We're going to start cutting pretty fast and furious, and just see where that takes us.
Yeah, if you want a knife fight, this is the podcast for you, because it's going to be all nice and happy until one game starts to get cut that no one wants to get cut, and then all the backstabbing will occur.
Yeah, I figured what will happen is the first few rounds will probably be fairly simple, and then somebody will say something too crazy too early. And then it's going to get pretty ugly. Should I read the games or should we just start cutting?
I would say let's read the games. Like, okay. read them all. Go on a tear.
All right, here's all the games, alphabetical order, besides the last one, because it's just not. So our 62 nominees are 999, 9 Hours, 9 Persons, 9 Doors, Alan Wake, Alpha Protocol, Amnesia: The Dark Descent, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Battlefield: Bad Company 2, Bayonetta, BioShock 2, Blaze Blue: Continuum Shift, Call of Duty Black Ops, Civilization 5, Coma, Danganronpa, Trigger, Happy Havoc, Darksiders, Dead Rising 2, Deadly Premonition, Donkey Kong Country Returns, Dragon Quest IX Sentinels of the Starry Skies, Fable 3, Fallout New Vegas, Fire Emblem New Mystery of the Emblem, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, God of War 3, Halo Reach, Happy Wheels, Heavy Rain, Kane and Lynch 2 Dog Days, Kirby's Epic Yarn, oh my god, I had to burp, Limbo, Loved, Mag, Mass Effect 2, Mega Man 10, Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker, Metro 2033, Monster Hunter Tri, Mountain Blade Warband, NBA 2K11, Nier, No More Heroes 2 Desperate Struggle, Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, Picross 3D, Professor Layton and the Unwound Future, Red Dead Redemption, Rock Band 3, Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey, Sin and Punishment Star Successor, Skate 3, StarCraft 2, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Super Meat Boy, Super Robot Wars OG Saga, Endless Frontier Exceed, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom Ultimate All-Stars, Transformers War for Cybertron, Valkyria Chronicles 2, Vanquish, Victoria 2, VVV, Xenoblade Chronicles, Yakuza 4, Y7, and Reclitier and Item Shop's Tale. Those are your nominees.
I can't believe we made you say all that when you're sick.
That's fine.
I'm- this is how it works. We wear Tanner down, and then we just get what we want towards the end of the.
This is how it works. I realize that is the cross I bear as a podcaster. That sometimes you get bullied a little bit, and that's okay. So I guess what we're gonna do is, like I said, we're gonna go just rapid fire, start cutting. Let's go for simplicity's sake. Let us cut in this order that I'm typing in the chat right now.
Oh, very interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
That's the order I think we should go in, just because it's alphabetical.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's the easiest to keep up with.
All right, cop collar alert. Bronson's first.
Hello, it's me, everyone's favorite police supporter. I guess we'll go with.
Jesus, why would you open with that?
Why I got called a cop collar? Like, what do you?
This was over, like, I think Nick Gage arguments at some point on the Resetera wrestling thread. I think that's why someone DM'd me that, because they saw our argument.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
What thing to cut here? We got a lot of stuff here that really shouldn't be on this list. I'm looking at this Happy Wheels thing, and I'm like,
Happy Wheels cannot be the first cut. I won't allow it.
How about this then? I want to cut BlazBlue first because it's a good game. It is not even the best BlazBlue game. It's kind of what's the best way to put this? It's probably the second to worst one after Calamity Trigger, the first one. So I think we just cut that right off the rip, because there's a lot of sequels here. There's a lot of yearly editions. So let's start with that one.
Yep, that's fair. Cut it.
All right, our first cut. BlazBlue Continuum Shift. All right, Chris, where are you taking us? Where are we cutting next?
Think I'm going to go for Mega Man 10. It's like a solid Mega Man. But like, as far as the like reboot Mega Mans, it's not as good as 9. The level, like, it's got more features, but I just think the level design is worse, and so it's just kind of a step down.
Alrighty.
I will say this about Mega Man 10 is that it got really, really shit on at the time. Like, people really hated it, and I think just because it was so similar to 9.
Yeah.
But it actually does hold up. It still is really fun. It's just, probably
it's
like
fun.
the sixth
just not
best
a
Mega
top
Man
10.
game, seventh best Mega Man. Yeah.
All right, Sam, where are you taking us?
I'm gonna cut a game I did not play, but I just feel emotionally against it, morally against it.
yeah.
Mag.
Not
Yeah,
bag.
I don't even think
Massive action game?
Not massive action game.
Not the massive action game. Mag was
Massive
sick.
ass game.
Did anyone play it?
I
on the
played
PS3
Mag.
when I was at, yeah.
I
It
did
wa-
not have a PS3 at that. No, I did, but I didn't have good.
You weren't
enough
playing
internet.
Didn't have good
I wasn't
taste.
playing Mag.
Mm.
Yeah.
I was playing
Damn.
Call of Duty like a normal
Yeah, there you go.
15-year-old.
Fucking loser. Yeah, Mag was cool. I mean, obviously more cool based on like the promise of what it did. So it's sort of like the console
Mhm.
version of like Planet Side, where it's just like, yeah, what if we just threw 250 players in a thing? There was like proximity chat for a 250 person game. There were squads and like commander chats and like all these different levels of hierarchy. It's like
Mhm.
very, very interesting. But yeah, we can't play it now, which does sort of hamper it.
Yeah, I remember when this game was first announced. I didn't have a PS3 because having a PlayStation 3 in 2010 just didn't seem like a good financial decision for a 14-year-old.
Fair.
But yeah, I always thought
Lame.
it looked cool. But I mean, how long did it even last? Like those servers did not stay up
Not
for
that long.
for a long time,
Not that long, no.
man.
There is
All right.
there's someone who is trying to like people who are trying to revive it, but
Good. Best of luck. I hope to see.
All right, Skylar, where are you taking us?
Okay, hopefully you'll indulge me for a second. I think that there are 3 games on this list that are all extremely similar and probably could all get cut at the same time. Those games being Coma, Loved, and Limbo. I mean, all are sort of like vaguely artsy, sort of loosely story-based 2D platformers. And all of them, I think, at the time, maybe had some level of, innovation or some level of like uniqueness artistically. But I think in the world that we live in which we have been saturated with this particular type of game, like none of them have really held up as like great gaming experiences. Limbo obviously is the most polished of those 3, with the other 2 being browser games. But Limbo in many ways is also still like a glorified browser game. And if in terms of like, I mean, Inside like destroys Limbo, and Loved is like this weird meditation on like player choice and agency, but like Stanley Parable came out the year after this, so all these things were sort of like instantly antiquated. So none of them really hang for me.
Wow, Skylar immediately cutting 3 games at once.
Wait a minute. The rules are not what I've been told. 3 games.
And we all agree.
I'm letting him cook here because he's correct.
Yeah, no, I mean,
I did really play Limbo, and it's just like
Limbo
it
what
just
kind of
feels-
kickstarted everything, though. That's the thing.
yeah,
Lasting impact.
Yeah, Spider's sick.
but also the lasting impact is a bunch of games that I don't want to play anymore.
that is true. Like
Oh,
Limbo
no.
did kind of kickstart. Like, I mean, I guess it did spawn some games that are good. I personally don't really like Limbo. I didn't think I would not. I didn't think I'd be beat to the punch of cutting it. I'm fine with it getting cut. And then Loved and Coma, I watched a little bit on both of those. I didn't play them, but it does look like 2 kind of not as good versions of Limbo. So I don't think I would have really liked them anyways. So I mean, even though this is Skylar breaking the rules, unless somebody has a really great point, I'm fine with all 3 of them getting cut at the same time.
I have one more point. I have one point that I want to make here. So I think we allow those 3 cuts, and then we also cut Red Dead Redemption on there because they're very similar games.
Jesus.
No horse tech.
We can hold that conversation for later. But yeah, I agree with all those 3 getting cut.
All right, let's cut them, man. Just fast and furious.
Chomp.
I thought I would get more pushback on Limbo because that was, I mean, that
I
was a
thought
very
about it.
revered game at the time. But I mean, Breed exists, like Fez exists, like Celeste exists, Thomas Was Alone exists. Like there's a lot of sort of games that are in the similar vein that are probably just a little bit better.
Mm.
I'm going to cut a game I just did not like at all. And I tried to play it recently. It was one of the games I was like, you know what? I'm going to give it a chance. I think Ghost Trick Phantom Detective should get cut.
Go fuck yourself.
Oh god!
Whoa!
What are you
You've done
talking
it.
about?
We found. Of course, it's Tanner that kicks everything off. That was-
I thought it was so fucking boring.
Oh no! All right, Tanner. This podcast's over. We'll see you in the park.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna
you
push
picked a
back.
hefty one. Yeah.
We're not cutting it, Buster.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be in my top 10, but I think we have to table it.
You got it. Really?
You don't get nothing. This is your podcast. You don't get nothing.
I'm interested. Can somebody make an argument for tabling it? Because I thought it was fucking atrocious.
Because I mean, it's slow. It's really, really slow. Like having to see the same animations over and over again. It has not aged 100% great, but I mean, it has a really fun little story. Like the animation has so much character. There's all these like little weird little fuckheads that dance in and out of the story. All these weird little places. Yeah, it's interesting. It's not, it's not the greatest puzzle game ever made, but especially at this time where this is sort of the last gasp of these like middle brow Japanese games, especially on the DS. Like this is worth talking about further.
I think for argument's sake, I will allow it to be tabled because I think getting held up for an hour, 17 minutes into the podcast is not a great use of our time. But just know I'm upset.
Do you get a mulligan?
Yeah, you want to do another one? Do another.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think you should get another one.
Okay. Oh man, I wasn't prepared.
Why?
Because,
Why are you going down there? What's that?
I'm just looking at my options because honestly, like I was kind of leaning towards Limbo because I kind of wanted to give like something, Let's see. Fuck it, I'll say it. I think it's a really good game. I think with this crowd, it doesn't hang. I could be wrong. I think Black Ops gets cut.
Ooh.
I mean, I played Black Ops.
Yeah, who supports the military here?
Well,
Who's here for our troops? Who wants to push back?
Who's pushing back on?
Well, hang on now. We got.
Bronson. Okay.
I'm not gonna get. I'm not having that put on my. No, I think that was a good Call of Duty game. I think it's the same thing. I'm comparing Blaze Blue and Call of Duty like 20 minutes into this podcast. It's just fucking ridiculous. I think there are better Call of Duty games, so I think it's okay to cut that one.
Yeah, I think there's better Call of Duty games, but also I just think there's better FPSs on this list that I also don't think probably end up making it. And so I think Black Ops is like a logical first like heavy cut. All right. Well, fuck you, Call of Duty.
Whoa! I didn't say that.
You've been eliminated.
Oh no!
All right, start it over again from the top.
All right. So I got two games I'm looking at here, and I want to preface this by saying these games should be cut for technical performance reasons. They're both great games. They're both very janky, no matter where you play them. So I think we'll do like a little group vote here. We can either cut Alpha Protocol right off the rip, or we can cut Deadly Premonition right off the rip.
If we're cutting Alpha Protocol, you would have to cut out like New Vegas. Like that's the same level. Like it's a deeply fucked up game, but
yeah, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
no,
No, okay, no. Okay. But like,
that's
in
actually
terms
a
of-
fair point. That's an
like
absolutely
Deadly Premonition is like a really fucked up game that is like really cool and unique and cool story and cool characters and funny. But like similar to some of these other games, like it maybe was like more interesting and more groundbreaking at the time because there weren't a lot of other games who are doing that type of humor, that type of weirdness, and now everybody's making that type of game.
Yeah, sweary is a known
quantity.
A known quantity. I will say I will have it cut with some sorrow in my heart. My name in the chat is Forrest Kaysen right now.
It does run better than Deadly Premonition 2, to be fair. So
that is very true.
Oy vey. I do attach good memories to Deadly Premonition as well, just because a lot of the moments in it. Also, for those watching, since these games are like 13 years old, we'll probably talk about spoilers at some point. You kind of had your chance to play these games. A lot of the story beats in Deadly Premonition hit pretty hard, even now. So I think that's a good thing to consider. But it's just from a performance perspective, it's bad news bears. So I think I'm okay with cutting Deadly Premonition if everyone else is.
I mean,
I will take your silence as acceptance.
At some point, it definitely does have to go. I would probably cut Alpha Protocol before Deadly Premonition, but it seems like I'm in a camp of my own. So
James Bond fans will have your head.
I'm fine with Deadly Premonition. I mean, I wasn't going to make an impassioned case for Deadly Premonition one way or the other.
Okay. In that case, there it goes.
Damn. Rest in peace, Deadly Premonition.
Pour one out.
All right, Chris, where are you taking us?
All right, let's just get to NBA 2K11.
You get the shit out of here.
Come on!
Why is this on here?
With just a special shout out for the version of Over by Drake, the like heavily edited 2K remix. Like everyone, if you've never heard it, check that on YouTube. It's incredible. Half of the words, like Ebert and Roper, is censored.
Did they not say Ebert and Roper?
Man.
They didn't. I guess maybe they'd have to give a little bit of money to them. I don't know. But it's a very funny remix. But yeah, it does not hang.
the Jordan mode is really fun.
The Jordan
that
modes
is
were really fun too.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I probably nominated it, and I think my logic was that it might be the best 2K, like NBA 2K game. I don't know I guess you could argue like 2K14 or 16 or better. But this is also before that franchise really got taken over by the microtransactions.
Yeah, that's
it certainly
true.
has it.
That's a
But
fair point.
this is one of the last ones that's like pretty playable without dealing with any of that stuff.
I judge basketball games by or most sports games by their franchise modes, because that's really what I want to do. I want to get 3 years in, reconstruct a team, and see what that's like. And I think I'm if I didn't nominate it, I definitely said, hey, like let's play this, because my memory is, hey, this was one of the best ones yet. It does not hold up as someone who plays these games annually. I don't think it's aged very well. And then my big issue is Roy Hibbert too godly in this game.
You gotta double up. This is how.
Yeah, I do not respect the Indiana Pacers. So yeah, I'm for it.
I see.
Yeah, you do not want to run into me with Charlie Villanueva in NBA 2K11. I will ruin you.
All right, does that put me up?
That puts you. I just realized WWE 12 didn't get nominated.
Well, it's not gonna, Tanner.
No,
It's too late.
To nominate it just to cut it. Come on.
Yeah.
I choose WWE 12, 2K12 to. It wasn't 2K at this
It
point.
was just 12, wasn't 2K. This
Yeah.
was the first game this was the first one that wasn't SmackDown versus Raw.
So the first numerical. Okay. I don't know why you did that.
I didn't add it. To be fair, did not
Someone
add
did.
it.
Don't worry, I got you. I got you.
Can we get Happy Wheels out here for?
What? Oh,
Let's go.
It's a bit. I get it, but
damn! Happy Wheels
Let's get
started a
into it.
revolution.
of what?
Bad browser games.
No,
being
it wasn't
YouTube
even the
hits.
first one. It wasn't even
It
the
was
first
like,
one. There was like
this
a
is
bunch of
late
these that
game here.
existed. Yeah, Happy Wheels was like so much later than like all the other like motocross type physics 2D games. It just had like the gore. That was like the only reason.
It revitalized the genre.
No, I
No, I'm fine with Happy Wheels getting cut though. Is Happy Wheels still available on a browser to play? Can you still play
played
it
it today.
Yeah.
Played it today just to reconfirm that. I
Yeah,
thought
I-
it was a bit, but I needed to make sure.
I played it last night.
Maybe one of the only games you can still play on this list.
All right, Skylar, what's up? What's popping?
Man, am I gonna get in trouble here? I think actually I'll take down an easy one, which is there are a few weird sequels to more famous DS games on here. So let's take down Professor Layton and Unwound Future. Good game, very solid game, just not in the top tier Professor Layton stuff. So the sort of a common theme is I think we got to cut the stuff that isn't even in the top tier of its own franchise. So
Yeah, totally agreed. I played a bit of it the other day. Fun game, charming game. But yeah, there's better latent stuff, and I would rather, if we're fighting for DS puzzle adventures, I'm going for Ghost Trick way more than I am for Unwound Future.
All right. I think, and if I get any pushback, I don't want it. I think we cut Heavy Rain.
You get that game back.
I don't think it ever held up to begin with. I think that also is an actively bad game. It's icky. I don't like it.
It is a very funny game, especially when you fail the QTEs.
Sure, yeah.
That's for sure.
There's some funny bits in it, and if
it has like some great moments. It has its moments. Yeah, the challenge where you have to like cut off your finger. Challenge where you're like driving down the wrong side of the road.
That
There's
one's
like,
good.
Yeah, there's like cool shit. Like I think at that time, and this is like Quantic Dream's trick. Their master trick is that they just have like a lot of budget. Like their games like look good and feel exciting. And it just, if you can forget that there's supposed to be a story happening, you can get sucked in pretty easily. That being said, it can cut.
Yeah, that's a definite cut on my end. All right, starting again, Bronson. Where are we going?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wasn't prepared for this.
That's crazy. This is the third round of cuts.
That's crazy. Let's see. Do I want to attack anime or anime? Let's go with. I think Xenoblade should not be on this list. I think it should be cut with the quickness. It is a very good game. The behind the scenes story of it is kind of interesting. It wasn't originally going to come out in the United States, and then it did eventually. It was exclusive to GameStop with a few other games, if my memory's right. The localization is a little weird. There's a lot of British voice acting, very anime style RPG. But it has a lot of very good moments, but not for 2010, not for best of 2010. So I think that should get cut. What does everyone else think?
I do love that game. I think the big problem is that it is probably the worst story of all the Xenoblade games, and probably also the worst gameplay. So it's hard to overcome that, even though like I still think it's great.
No.
All right, Xenoblade Chronicles. Please exit the stage. All right, Chris, where are you taking us?
I'm gonna go for something I haven't played, and it's just like I feel like this is probably a good game, but I don't know how many of us have actually played it. It's Sin and Punishment Star Successor. I have played like Sin and Punishment, the N64 game, and that's a great game. And I'm sure like Treasure has a good track record making good games. I just don't like how many of us have actually played this.
This might be a common theme, but I have played it and
Yeah.
own it at launch like a psycho.
Well, what do you think about it? What do you think about it potentially getting cut then?
I mean, it's sad. I think it's a real hidden gem. I think it's especially like on the Wii, you do have a lot of these sort of weird middle brow Japanese games that came out. And I think that this is a really good one. A great contribution to the genre. I wouldn't say it probably doesn't crack my top 10 though. So if I'm the only person who's played it and it's not in my top 10, what can you do?
All right. I'm going to take next. Does anyone have strong feelings about Transformers War for Cybertron?
No.
Okay. I'm trying to get some of these games out that clearly no one's going to cut
it.
because but no one's going to cut because they didn't play them because they had such little interest to even feign the case against them.
I will say, I believe that is a game that Wenzel added.
Wenzel put on. Well,
yeah.
You know what? Don't leave the country. That's what I gotta say. Stay in the US of A and compete.
True.
Compete. In fucking points.
You gotta show up.
I didn't think that far.
You want to talk about practice?
Mm.
All right, Skylar. What are you dishing?
I feel like I'm gonna try to take out some games I feel like maybe only I played or only I'm familiar with.
That'd be very brave of you.
Everyone. Yeah. So let's talk about Ye7. Really cool game. Really great story. Probably the first modern feeling Yeast game that like really holds up and doesn't feel antiquated at all. But 8 is just better in just about every way. Like better story, higher heights, and just refines a lot of the things. So that can't really hold up, but still worth, especially if you haven't played the Yeast games, you could start at 7 and go from there and sort of get the sort of feel for the modern version of those games. And I think it's a really underrated series, so worth the try.
I have always wanted to play them just because I know the first few always go down to like fucking 99 cents on Steam during any given sale. So I honestly, I think I own a couple of them. They seem really daunting in a way that I don't know if I'm ready to dedicate that much time to a singular game in current time.
Big time commitment.
All right. Where do I want to go? I kind of want to make people mad again because that was a little fun. I hate Amnesia. So I'm thinking that's my cut. Horror games have never been like my deal. I guess that's kind of unfair because I do like enjoy like Resident Evil and kind of the more like not co-op-y, but I like the Until Dawn stuff and stuff like that. Amnesia to me, it seems a little too try hard. And I don't think, especially playing it like again, I think I played it last year. It just doesn't hold up. And no way it makes my top 10, but I'd be interested to hear if there's any pushback.
None for me. Amnesia is a very good horror game franchise, but not on the high tier stuff here, I don't think. So I think we can cut it.
Yeah, net negative on the influence on the world.
Yeah,
games as a whole.
absolutely.
Oh yeah, easy.
It's just spawned so much like bullshit Unity freeware horror games. And one thing about playing this game now is you could totally see the seams of like when enemies spawn in, when you're actually in danger versus when you're not. Like all that stuff feels very obvious now, and that it just fucking sucks.
All right. Wow, I'm glad. I really thought
Yeah,
Sam.
that was going to be my cut. So
Oh, I thought Sam was going to give me pushback, being like the horror guy, but
I don't like horror games that much. I think,
well, because most of them
You're-
are bad. So
yeah, most of them are bad, and they don't. Yeah, nothing for me. Nothing for me here.
all
I
right.
can show you some
Oh.
YouTube videos of them playing this game, and whoa, they get so scared.
I swore though when Tanner said, "Yeah, I like horror games, some horror games, Five Nights at Freddy's." You know, I thought that's where he was going to go with it.
No, never. I've never played a second of any Five Nights at Freddy's. I'll watch. Hey, I'll watch
Well,
the
you're
movie
gonna
though.
have to for this.
Uh-oh.
All right, start it over.
Hmm.
Let's go, Bronson. Where are we going?
Do I want my knife fights now or later? No, let's see. Let's do an easy one. Kane Lynch 2 should not be on this list. It is not a. I did not have a great time with it when I played it at launch. I tried it again recently. It's the same thing. I like what they went for stylistically. Kane Lynch 1 was kind of a little samey in that regard, but not for this list.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't play it, so
Jeff Gerstmann was wrong.
I win. I got it.
He deserved to get fired.
Whoa! Whoa!
I don't know. This I mean, it is a really. I think that it has gone up in a lot of people's estimation because of how bold it is and because of how schlocky it is. But I think some people have tried to turn it into like the Michael Mann Miami Vice of the gaming world and say that it's like actually a beautiful piece of art. And I think the gameplay just sucks too hard to do that, sadly.
Yeah, follow my Twitter account, Kane and Lynch Apologist.
Oh no!
This was actually a game I really wanted to get to, but I never got to. So I can't put an opinion in. So yeah, if no one's going to bat for it.
all right. Kane Lynch 2
Good.
dead.
Good.
All right, Chris. Where
Um,
are we going?
so I think I put this on the list. I'm sure it's one several of us have played. Donkey Kong Country Returns. Really, really fun game. Really good gameplay. Like some fun level design. I just think, like, I just feel like it's just groundwork for Tropical Freeze. Like everything they do well in Donkey Kong Country Returns, they do better in Tropical Freeze.
Fair. Yeah, I can definitely see that.
There are worse games on this list.
There are, but
There are worse games on this list. I don't know if Donkey Kong Country Returns makes a
The
top
heavy
10,
hitter
though.
list. Yeah.
Now, if we were talking
Like,
Tropical Freeze,
Talking Tropical Freeze. Uh-oh.
We're months away.
we're years away. Let's be honest.
yeah, at the current rate we're going, yeah,
Well,
I'll
hang on,
probably-
I like to be optimistic.
I don't even think we have to do 2014 because I'm looking at this sheet and I see 5 games on it. So I think we're good. We just use those 5 and we were good.
and one of them's not even a real game.
All right. Well, let's see what we got here. Do we? I know Skylar had said, "Hey, you got to play the Paradox games." Did anyone really go full bolt into Victoria 2?
No.
I have no idea what
Okay.
that is.
Yeah, that's my next
Okay.
cut. so-
Beautiful.
If
I played a lot
anyone-
when it came out, but
Yeah. It
Yeah,
is. It's a very big grand strategy kind of thing. I do play some Paradox games from time to time, but that one did not stick with me.
All right. There we go. Skylar, take the ball.
wow. Okay. There's a game here that I feel like is probably like a Tanner ass game. But is a game that I don't think is actually that good. Pac-Man Championship Edition DS.
Oh, shut the fuck
Whoa,
up!
It's really
whoa.
like I love listen, I love Pac-Man. I appreciate
Obviously not.
the art. But this is just like a fan game basically. Like it doesn't really. I feel like it's a great celebration of everything that is Pac-Man in some ways. But I don't really like all the like extra hullabaloo around it, all the weird little features. And in many ways, like the Pac-Man Championship Edition, like the 2007 sort of precursor to this, is just like the better version of it. So it's a cut for me. And I know everyone is mad right now, but I mean, does it hang? Does it hang? It doesn't. I'm not.
I don't know. If we call this a fan game, we have to call Tetris Effect a fan game.
No,
Whoa.
It is.
Whoa.
It is. It doesn't
Oh,
hang. It doesn't hang. Tetris
we are
Effect
not
does not
arguing
hang.
about this until
Tetris
we
Effect.
get there because I've got opinions.
Yeah, Tetris Effect, Mass Effect, none of them hang on this list.
Oh,
in my
wow,
opinion.
wow. No effects. None. No chronicles, no effects. No.
Oh man. I don't. Oh man. I don't know if I can legally allow Pac-Man
that.
to get cut.
I'm kind of with it.
Kind of
It's-
getting cut or it staying.
Kind of getting cut.
Oh,
Is it in your
fuck
top 10, Tanner?
you. It would probably. I mean, it's not making it like 1 or 2, but it probably makes like a somewhere between an 8 and a 10.
You should have had your list prepared before doing this, and maybe you could answer that in the affirmative.
Mm,
Get him.
mm. I mean, let
All right,
me
that sounds
try
like
to
it's cut.
let me try to sell you on it. At least maybe we could take. Let me try to sell you on it.
I would say we table it for now, and we'll get to it, I guess, when we get down to 25, 30. We're close.
I was thinking 7 or 8. We'll just come
Fuck
back
off.
to it.
All right, cut it. Had to get
Unless you have-
two if your britches.
Yeah, unless you have the impassioned plea, like if you have
Okay,
the
okay. So here's my plea. First of all, probably the best soundtrack out of any game on this list.
it's on this list, so just think about that.
Probably the best soundtrack on this list. I think as far as game feel goes, when you go into the hyper drug fueled Pac-Man mode where he just goes fucking crazy and you eat 1,000 ghosts, nothing
True.
better.
I do hate ghosts.
That is true.
Yep.
Also anti-ghost household.
Very.
I think it's the best Pac-Man has ever felt, because I think comparing Championship Edition DX to the sequel DX2 that came out, I don't think DX2 holds a candle to it. I don't think DX2 they lost the magic somewhere. I don't know where they lost it, but I think Championship Edition DX, as far as you calling it a fan game, which is fucking absurd, goes, I think Pac-Man Championship Edition DX is the Tetris Effect of the Pac-Man franchise, which is about as high of a praise as I can give to any old franchise ever. And I think that's why it needs to stay on the list, at least for now. If it doesn't make the top 10, that's fine. I don't think it gets cut yet, though. There's far worse games on this list. Alpha Protocol is still here.
Whoa.
I'll hold off because I know that if I hold off, I get another one, right? So,
Nice. I like it. I like it.
All right, it's been
All right.
it's table.
All right. So I hope you don't have any plea for Picross 3D because that's going.
No, I'm fine.
No.
I'm fine. I'm fine with
Now,
Precaution going.
hang on just a minute there. No. Picross games are very fun. It's a Picross game. They're not reinventing the wheel with this one. They have it for like 13 years. It is what it is.
This one's in 3D.
Ooh, actually, hang on a minute. Let me look at this. No, it's fine.
Is it okay? This is going to be a dumb question. Is Precross 3DS wasn't out yet though, was it?
No, this is just on the DS.
Yeah.
but it's 3D, like it's not 3D like fucking Jaws 3D. Like it's not, the Picross isn't coming out of the screen at you. It's 3D like you can like rotate in space or some shit.
Rotate
I don't
some
know.
stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. I think this
Got
game
it.
is dumb.
Picross 3D Round 2 is when it's both instances of the 3D.
Wow. We'll talk about that in a few years then. I'm gonna have to buy me a 3D monitor. All right. Does anybody have a great case for Valkyria Chronicles 2? Because I think it's our next cut.
Skylar?
I mean, what do you want me to say? I did play it. I did like it. I think it's good. I would say it's probably, even among Valkyria Chronicles fans, they really dislike it. So I think it's solid, but 3 is just quite a bit better. So
Valkyria Chronicles 4 was one of those games where I was like, oh, they made 2 more of those since the first one. Huh.
Yeah. PSP exclusive.
2 is interesting because 2 is like, I mean, the first one, as most people know, is like set, it's like World War II adjacent or whatever the fuck. But Valkyria Chronicles 2 is basically like, what if Valkyria Chronicles was a Persona? Because it's like high schoolers and there's a lot more like relationship type stuff. But I think sadly it just feels like bootleg Persona and bootleg Valkyria Chronicles.
A lot of limitations because it's PSP only, so bit harder to work with.
Man. Anonymous GM just called in. They said, Bronson, it's your turn.
Oh man. Do I want to destroy Kirby once and for all now?
No, you fucking don't.
Why not? What's the issue?
No, I mean, Kirby can get cut. I'm fine with Kirby getting cut. I think there's way worse games on this list, but Kirby probably doesn't make my.
There are worse games on this list than Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Yeah.
I despise Kirby.
Fuck, Ghost Trick's already been tabled, so.
Yeah. Let me look through this list real quick. I feel like my war on anime needs to continue. I do not recognize the Super Robot Wars game whatsoever. So, if they don't have a case for keeping it, I'm happy to hear. If not, then chuck it.
I recently bought some Super Robot War games for my PlayStation 2. I didn't play this one.
Yeah. It also has a way too long title. Not a fan. Those gotta go.
I assume this was a Skylar nomination, so.
It was indeed. Listen, you know what I ride for. It's Opti's Japanese games on the DS.
All right, Chris.
All right. So I mean, this is a very influential game, and one that, like, I had a lot of fun playing at the time. Super Meat Boy. Like, yeah, it was fun. Like, it was like they had the Flash game before that I remember playing, and like this was like a damn, they like gave a Flash game a budget, and like it was a good time. But like as far as like Flash games, like the dreaded genre tag splatformer, like VVV is a much better one of those than Super Meat Boy in my estimation.
Well, you can't cut it because it's in my top 5. So yeah,
Well,
got your ass. Well, table it.
So yeah, let's table Super Meat Boy for now because I didn't realize that would be a game. Skylar
I did not see this coming.
No,
the heel turn of a lifetime.
No, this is the truth turn.
And honestly, I was thinking about why the fuck won't you bold? I was thinking about going to bat for Super Meat Boy, but I'm like, okay, I did just pitch a bitch about Pac-Man, so I guess I won't. But I did cool. But Skylar did it for me.
I mean, I like Meat Boy more than Pac-Man, so
Okay, well, you don't have to attack Pac-Man.
fuck Pac-Man.
Whoa.
All right. Is anyone going to give a?
Oh, hold on.
Whoa.
Chris still
Gets
gets
a redo.
Oh, do I
Yeah.
get a mulligan? I
Yeah.
didn't know if we were doing that for every table. Jeez,
Yeah,
I don't.
for now, since there's still so many games left. So many bad games left.
True.
Let's get to 30, and then we'll start making some untables.
Yeah, get to 30 and we can burn the table down.
Is anyone super passionate about Dead Rising 2?
Not particularly.
Absolutely not.
That's a very fun game. I had a good time with it. Like fun beat 'em up. I think it improves a little bit on the first Dead Rising. But I don't know if I ever need to play it again.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like a great 7 out of 10.
I would say it's a bad 6 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did not like that game whatsoever. It does not age very well, all things considered.
Yeah, I can probably see that. It has probably been like 7 years since I played it. 8 years.
13 since it came out.
Yeah, I get that.
There we go. Can I get rid of Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. I love it.
I'm totally okay with getting rid of it. I think it's probably the second best mainline Shin Megami Tensei game. It's really good. It's similar to like E7. I'll have the same thing where it's like, I get it, but you should play it. It's good.
What's number 1?
SMT 5.
Okay.
Yeah.
One that actually real people played.
I have this on my Steam Deck right now, but just couldn't pull the trigger.
It's already on there. All right, Skylar. What bullshit are you going for next?
I'm just going to cut out a game that I flat out don't like, which is Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I think that pretty much, I mean, after Assassin's Creed 2, that franchise really loses its way in terms of consistency. And Assassin's Creed Brotherhood was after Chronicles, right? Like it was because they did or not Chronicles. There was like multiple Ezio games, and this was one of the 3 Ezio games, I think. Yeah, it was 2 Brotherhood and Revelations was the other one. And I think by the time you get to Brotherhood, you start to already sort of see the seams of like what this game is going to be, which is that it's just so fucking much of the same thing. It's so much Ubisoft mini-map simulator porn. Like it's not very good. The whole Brotherhood system is like potentially interesting, but like doesn't quite click 100%, doesn't always feel useful. And also this is, the story is nothing really to write home about. I can't blame like I would say the story really goes off the rails in 3, but if you look at like the sort of broader chronology of like Assassin's Creed, like this wouldn't be in my top 5 Assassin's Creed games. So why would I lift it up here?
Fair.
Mm-hmm.
I've never really given a shit about an Assassin's Creed, so
Yeah. Yeah, like it's always been a franchise that I'm just like, wow, I can't believe they're still coming out. And like right now, there's what, like 7 fucking games in development in Assassin's Creed or some shit.
It really is a lot. They tripled down on it.
Yeah, it's like, okay. I'm going to cut a game I didn't play, just because, again, time and also hard. Fire Emblem: New Mystery of the Emblem. Is anybody super hot on that one? If we're talking about like games not being one of the better ones in their franchises, I can't imagine this being better than Three Houses or Awakening or any of the good Fire Emblems. So if somebody wants to make just like a quick pitch for it, I don't know.
No. It's the
It's-
dark ages of Fire Emblem.
It is just a remake too,
Yeah,
so I feel like
it's just a remake of one of
yeah.
the SNES ones.
All right. Well, it has been cut. So how many games we got left on here?
Good question. Let me filter this down again.
Looks like we got 35, including the 3 tables.
Okay, so 35 including the tables. Do we want to take a quick little mini 5-10 minute? People go pee, go refill their cups.
Sure.
We're about halfway here. Is that okay with everybody?
Sure.
Yeah, before we get into the real nitty gritty, I need some water. So
Hacking is a funny way to describe halfway, but okay.
Well, 35 is kind of close to half of 62.
yeah, and we haven't even gotten to like the argument portion.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Everything's
the top
been
10
nice and
words-
chill.
All right, well,
right.
we'll be right back.
All right.
All right, we're back. We're still cutting. We're down to 35 games. 3 have the word table and bold by them, and 32. So I don't know what are we thinking? Maybe 2 more rounds of cuts until we start really getting into the nitty gritty, I guess.
Potentially. We may want to speed up the cuts too. We may want to do 2 per round.
Let's
I
do
definitely didn't
one
say
round
that.
of 2 cuts and see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Let's
missed
do. Okay, so this round, because that will bring us from 35 to 25. Yeah, let's do 2 rounds or 1 round, but each person can do 2 cuts.
Okay.
All right, Bronson, where are we going?
I definitely didn't propose that because I had 2 games in mind. Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker and Monster Hunter Tri probably need to be cut here. Peace Walker is hilarious. Fultoning people over and over and over again is it's an amazing mechanic. It's amazing, but I think it needs to go here. And Monster Hunter Tri is, again, a good Monster Hunter game, but it's not going to stand against these heavy hitters here. So I would say cut those 2.
Yeah, I'm definitely okay with both of those getting cut. Peace Walker, I mean, again, it's kind of hard to play any Metal Gear now, but like it being locked to the PSP makes it that much harder.
Mm-hmm.
And Monster Hunter Tri, like you said, there's been way better Monster Hunters since, arguably even before, and it just doesn't hang with like the majority of the rest of this list.
Yeah, I actually love both of these games.
I'm
and
sorry.
I think Peace Walker is actually really awesome because it's sort of like the prototype for what is expanded upon in Phantom Pain, which is maybe my favorite Metal Gear game. That's a chat for another year. But yeah, I don't think that they either would make my top 10, so I can't fight against it.
Yeah, Monster Hunter Tri was my first Monster Hunter game, so I've got a little bit of a soft spot for it, but yeah, it's not in my top 10, so I can't really.
Yeah. Underwater Combat, underrated.
All right, Chris. 2 games. What are we thinking of getting rid of?
2 games that we've got here.
Choose wisely.
Man, doing 2 games at once seems amazing.
Yeah. I'm gonna go after 999.
Who made that noise?
I could see it getting tabled,
Me.
but like as far as like adventure story games, like I said when it came for Professor Layton, I like Ghost, like obviously they go for different things, but I like Ghost Trick better. I don't know, it just 999 never hit with me the way like others other of those like story puzzle games did for the DS. It just feels, because we kind of talked about how Ghost Trick is slow. 999 has just always, whenever I've tried to pick it up, has felt so slow for me that I don't know.
Yeah, I'm in the same camp. It was honestly one of the two games I was thinking about cutting here, so I'm perfectly fine with 999 getting the cut.
Give me the damn microphone. Oh man, that's a tough one.
I thought you were going against anime.
Yeah, but I make exceptions. 999 is real good, real good. I think it's the best one in the series that it's in. I think it used the DS incredibly well for all of its like gameplay mechanics and story mechanics. Oh man. You know what? I think we can cut it, but I do think it does deserve its day in the sun because I think it kind of launched a lot of not a renaissance for those kind of adventure games, but it was so unique. Even at the time, like even like remasters of it or sequels of it couldn't really quite capture that same magic that it had because it hit really hard. It still does.
Bronson, I can't wait till your 999 memorial podcast.
Wait. You just put cut. I didn't even unmute my microphone yet. We have to table this. I'm sorry. It's in my top 10.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm back in the cop collar. So.
Fine.
Skylar waits 20 minutes to say something. God damn it.
Last minute save. You'll love to see it.
Ah, man. Skylar really going for
this two cuts is going great so far, everyone.
It went great for me and no one else.
All right, Chris. 2 cuts.
Just say them back to back.
Yeah, double like a shotgun.
I feel like that lessens the blow. Like you might sneak one in if you
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. You might sneak one in under
let's go. No More Heroes 2, Yakuza 4.
Whoa.
Perfect. All right.
Good call. Good work, everyone.
Yeah.
No, I do agree. If we're talking about
like,
Yakuza, there's games that came out before Yakuza 4 that are better. So
yeah, when we're talking about the Yakuza games in this series, is 4 going to be the one we talk about the most?
no, not me. Anyways, I don't know where people stand on you know on 4.
It's good, but there are better Yakuza games.
Yeah, I actually think I'm like a little more. I like Yakuza 4 a lot, but I think that No More Heroes 2 is actually a little bit more of a tougher cut. It's not in my top 10, so I can't really fight for it. But man, the boss fights in No More Heroes 2 are so fucking good.
Yeah,
They're
it's a good game. It's just not one I'm particularly passionate about. But I've touched it like a little bit since it initially came out, so maybe it's just because I'm so behind it now.
I would say probably the best No More Heroes game out of the 4. I'll include the side scroller in that one. It kind of hit higher highs than the first one did for me. I'm okay with cutting it, but I think that's a good one. That's a real good one. This is getting tough. Oh boy.
Yeah, like
yeah, we're getting to the point where like a lot of the games you're just like, oh, that's a good game, but I don't want to see it go, but I see why we're letting it go.
all right, Sam, where are we going?
Oh man, we're really getting to the thick of it.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna say Danganronpa, Trigger Happy Havoc, and Darksiders.
I'll let one of those go, and then the other one.
Pick and choose. Which one?
Danganronpa
Which one are you
in
gonna
my
keep?
top 10. You got to keep that one. That one's amazing.
All right, cut Darksiders.
Yeah, let's go.
All
Darksiders it's funny. Like when I was playing it, I played it for the first time for this, and it was shocking. It came out in 2010. It feels like straight out 2003. The story is wild.
Oh God, I need to play it now.
Yeah, it almost sort of feels like a test case for like a 2018 God of War type game because it's like soft RPG elements and it's like half character action, but like the combat is super dumbed down. I don't know, just not very good. I've heard the sequels are better, but
yeah, like I don't think the sequels are better as a particularly strong case. I know we've done that a few times now, or there's other games in the series that are better.
Yeah,
but the second one's just much better, I think, in pretty much every direction. And I just don't know why Darksiders gets sort of, it was not deserving the criticism it received. It did deserve all of it, I believe. All right. I don't think we do mulligans on the two cuts, though. You get one out of two.
Well, Chris got a mulligan, so we might as well let you get another mulligan.
Oh, jeez Louise. Okay. Metro 2033.
Okay.
All right.
I was going to say this is probably the last round with mulligans, which this may be the last round of cut.
Yeah,
of like
we're
round
gonna
table
get
cuts
30.
anyways.
We're gonna have to start revising these tables.
Yeah. But I'm fine with Metro 2033 getting cut. Again, I don't think it's. I think they approve upon the formula later, but like I think it's kind of like just a standard like okay game.
Well, part of me is also like I don't feel like I can play this game how it came out. Like the only way I feel like I could play it was the remastered version that adds in all the stuff from later games.
Yep.
Well, not all the stuff, but more stuff from later games. So I'm like, I don't know how to judge this by itself.
All right.
yeah, cool game, but yeah.
All right, Skylar, you're up next.
You got two cuts.
I'm going to take out two games that I think are both big hits, big AAA mega games. I think people have nostalgia for, but just aren't going to hang. And they're back to back on our list: God of War 3 and Halo Reach. So I'm out.
Oh, no. Whoa.
So when we're talking about like, hey, we can't get rid of a game, we're gonna get rid of games because there's other better in the series. God of War, there is none. That's the best one.
I wasn't even sighing at God of War. I mean, if we're using that argument, Halo Reach is the second best Halo. So
it's not the first. Got it.
Okay, you're on crack. So both of you.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Skylar.
You'll know ball.
Halo Reach.
yeah.
Is it in your top 10?
Oh yeah, Halo Reach is easy in my top 10. Halo Reach, to me, it has such I mean, obviously a little bit through, rose-colored glasses that I'll, will get past since all of these games are fucking old. But Halo Reach, I think it has it to me definitely has the best story out of any Halo. I think the multiplayer aspect of it was great. I really
playing Halo for the story.
I'm gonna push back on also that fact that it's its best story, because all the other Halo games, like, yes, they alternate between like schlocky sci-fi stuff and like really way too deep, like basically, Star Wars extended universe novel type lore. But like, I feel like everyone just thinks of the story of Halo Reach as think of the ending, which is like cool at the time, but how like. After like Modern Warfare, like there's so many games where it's like, oh, you die at the end, you actually lose. That's the story. Wow, it's so cool.
No.
Like I don't think the story is that great.
compared to other Halos.
I mean, I'm not like I haven't read all the books yet. But
Okay, well, we're not talking about fucking Book of the Year here.
we should. That could be the extra, the bonus episode.
No, the fucking can't.
Ranking the Halo books.
Books.
I really don't think you can get rid of Halo Reach. I would let you cut God of War 3 before Halo Reach, and I really love both of these games. But Halo Reach, like just talking about personal preference, probably makes my top 20 of the decade. Like,
Well, then in that case, we can't tuck it. We can't cut it then.
Yeah,
like
I'm okay with pushing it. That's fine.
but I'm fine with you getting rid of God of War 3, but it sounds like you got a little more pushback on that one.
Yeah, like for Halo Reach, like I would want to cut it because Tanner's the only one that's standing by it. Whereas Tanner even just said, "Hey, I love God of War 3 as well." So it's like, okay, we got at least two people there. This is a big contender for the year, not the decade. Because we're not talking about the decade. So that's where I'm at with it. I think it's one of the best ones of the Sony kind of first party, big prestige tentpole cinematic sort of games. I consider like the Uncharted games sort of in that vein as well. It's just like, okay, the big set pieces where it sell those games in a lot of ways. I think this is the first one that really pushed that PS3, to me at least, in that direction. If we cut it, sure, whatever. It doesn't sound like Tanner's got a spine for this one. But if anyone else has it, I'll take it up, but it's not going to be one that
I really
fight
don't.
for some of the other ones. All right.
I mean, are do people feel stronger about God of War 3 than Halo Reach just in general?
I wouldn't cut any of them.
I mean, I'm cutting both, but I'd rather cut God of War than Halo Reach because Halo Reach I have a little more nostalgia
Yeah,
for.
Yeah,
I think God of War is the pinnacle of that particular formula for God of War. It doesn't get any better than that. So that's something to consider. But if it's literally one or the other, definitely have to keep Halo Reach because there's just I don't know. That's tough. Oh man, that's a rough.
That's why we're doing the two, because you gotta start making decisions. If we're cutting God of War
Yes.
3, I think we just rip the Band-Aid off and
Yeah, it sounds like God of War 3 gets the definite cut. Halo Reach gets tabled for now, but Skylar does get his mulligan pick. So,
All right, let's circle back. Fable 3. You know.
whoa!
What's with this war on Microsoft? Hang on a minute.
Sony ponies are.
I mean, you also.
I guess we're not
worry.
winning because
PS triple, baby. PS triple.
I'll tackle this one. I love Fable games. They're all a lot of fun in terms of all the weird stuff you can get up to in them. I think it's a good Fable game. I don't think it's the pinnacle. I think Fable 2 is, at least in my eyes. I'm okay with cutting that one.
Yeah, that's basically mine. Like Fable 3 is good. I there's probably 10 games on this list I feel stronger about at least. But yeah, I'm definitely Fable 3 definitely feels like a step down compared to Fable 2 because I think Fable 2 is like the pinnacle of that. Yeah, so I agree with that. All right. Wow, that was two big ones.
It's begun.
All right.
starting to get hard here.
All right.
Yep.
Well, here's what I'm saying. Here we go. Alan Wake and BioShock 2.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
fucking not.
Yeah. I hate spooky games too, Tanner. Let's go. Let's get them out.
No, like 1 and 2. Let's out. Move on. Do
Are
it
you
again.
serious? That's
Moving on. Do it again.
Oh my god, there's no way.
Move on.
Alan Wake is that high for
Alan
you.
Wake.
Alan Wake.
Okay,
Move on.
wait,
Come on.
wait,
Redo
wait,
it.
wait. Can we? Is there a way we can override a number one if we all agree we really want Alan Wake gone?
I mean, there's
Oh my
Yeah, this
god.
man
I can't do that to them. Even if I think Alan Wake is
Alan
You
Wake
gotta
number
table
one.
it
Too
until
much
we
dip
get
on your
to.
you could. I don't think you could table both of somebody's pick. One of them's getting cut.
No,
half
you
of
gotta
these
move
are
on.
tabled. Oh,
We got 5 other tables. We'll redo it in just a second.
I love
2 more.
tables.
Sam, that makes me rethink of even inviting you for this podcast. Alan Wake got one.
I said 1 and 2. I didn't say which one was 1. I didn't say which one was 2.
Both are bad.
Oh my
Whoa.
goodness.
Oh. Let's talk about
Fuck.
this.
Fine. Okay. Okay. Fine. Table both of them. Table Alan Wake and BioShock.
I'm glad. Thank you.
Well,
should-
well done.
These 2 games are getting cut though. I'm hearing no pushback. Here we go.
Hmm.
Nier and StarCraft 2.
Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, now you're going for
Uh,
Skylar.
Yeah. Okay. If we're talking about 1 and 2, guess what? That's 1 and 2. Yes.
We knew this was gonna happen. We all have very, very.
So we agreed if it's 1 and 2 that we can't possibly cut it. We have to table it.
Yeah.
So, sorry,
Oh
we're
my
tabling.
god.
Yeah, precedent goes.
Fuck me. Okay. Fuck.
I think you should just say Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Okay, well, if we're talking about
I
one
think
and
you should just say
two,
it.
so I think you should shut the fuck up.
I do it. Here we go.
All right.
There's so
Fuck.
few games left.
Fuck. Okay. Alpha Protocol is getting cut. Here.
Yes.
Alpha Protocol's getting cut. No, not doing it.
Oh, I got tabled. Who tabled?
No, it's Alpha Protocol gone. Bayonetta gone.
Oh wait, hold on.
Yeah, I feel good about that.
Whoa.
Hold on. There's much worse games than Bayonetta left here.
Sure, is Bayonetta a top 10? We have more than 10 tables now.
I love tables.
I think. The only thing is that the Alpha Protocol is the second best Obsidian game here, and then Bayonetta is the second best Platinum game here. So okay with both of them being cut. Both are really great.
Oh, I got bad news for you in like 2 minutes, Bust.
Oh hell no!
Oh, that's happening. I'm dialed. I'm laser focused on it all. Oh man.
All right. Can somebody filter the spreadsheet real
We
quick?
cut. We
So-
tabled much worse.
We got
games than Bayonetta.
25 left, including the
25
tables.
25 left. We have 2, 4, 6, 8.
So I have a
we have
question.
tables.
we have 10 tables.
10 tables. I have a question. Why don't we maneuver? We can either do a cut or a proposed cut, or we can do a freeze or like a lock where we want to lock it in.
I think it's a great idea because I think we have some locks.
I do
For
think
sure.
we have some locks here.
Like, not just saying it's a lock for the top 10, but not necessarily ranking it yet.
Not ranking it, no.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
I'm let's go. Let's try and get that going.
Yeah, I'd be
Okay,
okay with
go.
that. But are we
Alright.
also okay? But we eventually have to get to these table games.
we do,
Yes.
and I think that's
Okay.
this is where we would start. Like we could pick one to lock.
Yeah, I think
Okay,
a table could be a lock. Yeah.
Okay, great. Or a cut.
Perfect.
Alright.
Alrighty. I believe it is my turn.
Go for it.
So I have once again changed the rules to benefit myself. We're gonna lock in Reciteer and Item Shop's Tale for the top.
Well, that's not how locking's going to work.
Oh, yeah, no,
you
it's-
can't just
I mean,
say
yeah,
it's a
but
lock.
I- but I-
Say
but
game's
I
a
already-
lock.
But I already typed it in. It is.
Yeah.
I
thi-
that
I think
one's
this
gonna
game's-
get cut. That one's
Yeah.
gonna get cut. I just want to talk about it because I'm the one that put it on the list.
Today, mind you.
That's
go
fine.
ahead and talk about it because it is interesting to hear like people really going to at bat for their games.
Yeah, so Reciteer is essentially a capitalist simulator / dungeon crawler. Full disclosure, I beat that game without even going into the dungeon. You could just sell things and you could win the game that way. It was a fan game in Japan. It came over here years later, and it did so well on PC that it kind of started that movement of seeing more of these Japanese games coming and being localized and translated for American audiences at the very least. So that legacy is key for me. I think it's a very fun game. It's a very silly game. A lot of very overly positive things. You're playing a shopkeeper who's like 15 or something like that. It's a very there's no actual stakes to it. You just kind of sell stuff and you have fun. You have a grand time. It came back up for me because my friend Raibuku was playing it on stream. So I wanted to give it just a little bit of time in the sun because, like the rest of these things, it's not going to make it on this list. But I think the lasting impact is very cool to talk about. That's my cut. And since I'm the one that put it on the list, I'm not expecting any pushback. So that's easy.
All right. That
Game
yeah.
sucks.
What? Hell
Really
yeah.
bad. Really bad game. Sorry.
Oh my god.
All right. Chris, what are we feeling?
So this is still cuts, or
So you can either cut or you can pretty much go to any game on the list. Like tables are pretty much off, but you can technically bring up something as a game as a potential lock. You can't just say, "Hey, this game is getting locked."
yeah, I'm aware of that.
Yeah.
Is there anything I'm really feeling as a lock yet? Hard to gauge with this group.
Right? It's like a minefield. You don't know.
We're all pretty much on the same page, but
I'm gonna take out one of mine because I don't think it's going to hang. Cut Tatsunoko versus Capcom. I don't know if anyone else has played this except Skylar, but
I played it.
okay.
I looked into importing it.
It's a really good game. I like it a lot. It's a good versus Capcom game. But if I'm like looking at some of the other games on this list, like it wasn't in my personal top 10, so, and it was like one of the games I added, so I don't know. I don't think it hangs.
The legacy that this game has for me, I thought it was very odd when it was announced because I didn't know what Tatsunoko like the brand was, and I was like, oh, it's a Japanese only Capcom versus fighting game for the Wii. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. And then you see like the first screenshot, and it's Ryu doing like a Shinku Hadoken, but it's in the Marvel versus Capcom style. So I was like, they're testing for a new Marvel versus Capcom game. And then, what do you know? A new one came out a little bit after this. So that's that legacy for me. It's a very fun game. It's absolute chaos. It absolutely loses the plot sometimes, but it's excellent. It gets cut, but it's excellent.
Yeah, very very good fighter. Fun. It is like a shocking game that they brought to the United States at all.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy like I was able to get it as a weird 16-year-old who like was into fighting games and Street Fighter and stuff. So cool shit.
All right.
I will not be cutting one of my games. I will be asking, should we lock in Civilization 5?
Ooh,
That was one I was considering locking.
I was also
Yeah,
considering
I
that,
have,
saying
I
that
have
as a
not
lock.
put more hours into any game. I don't think.
Yeah, it's probably one of my 5 most played games ever. We can get into the semantics later, but I think that's a lock. It's a lock for my list.
I think I heard enough 3 people say that they wanted to lock it, so I think that's good.
I feel like that's good enough.
That's good enough. That is in my eyes the best Civ game. I like 6 a lot, but I played a lot of 5 too. That's one that just. That's one. Oh yeah, I don't want to play for a little bit, and then you look up at the clock, and it wasn't a little bit. That's for sure.
All right, Skylar.
I'm a little scared because I want to lock something, but I don't know if I should go for a sure thing or something that might prove a little controversial. But
Don't do it.
It's a table so far, and I think I really want to lock in Nier. And I know I got some Nier heads in here. We got to have some. Any Nier heads?
You're on your own. You're in the danger zone.
Like this is the best JRPG probably of the decade. It's better than Automata, better story, better music. Gameplay is 2010 JRPG stuff. It's fine, but the world is incredible. The characters and story, like all the shit that Automata is like called like the best game of the century or whatever for. Like Nier did everything first. Everything it did first. It's. I would say the remake is sort of a great way to get into it if you haven't played it. But I don't see how this wouldn't be in the top 10 of the year. Like based on even just seeing how Automata literally just sort of isn't a remake, but I mean a sequel to it, and it's very critically acclaimed. I get that was obtuse, or maybe if you didn't play at the time, but you really have no excuse now if you still haven't played it. Has no one else played Nier? That's the real question.
I have
Uncle
not
Taro
played
is a
Nier.
maniac.
I've heard bad things about the fishing.
Okay, speaking of people who deserve to lose their jobs.
Oh, whoa. I'm
Fuck.
okay with locking Nier. I think it takes so many risks that even Nier Automata does not. I'll probably defer to you to go over like the save deletion part. I know that that's like a trick that kind of happens a few times, but that took some courage. So just for that audacity alone, I'll back you on locking Nier.
Yeah, I mean, I saw a copy like of Nier the other day, and I was just like, I should probably play this for the podcast, and then I still wouldn't have enough hours to put into it that I would have been able to do it justice. But I mean, I'm cool with you locking it. You, at least for now, you seem passionate enough about it, and what I know about the game is kind of enough. There are definitely, like, I would hear cases for this game I haven't played more than some cases of games still here that I have played.
That's high praise. I'll take it.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely a ceiling to what we're gonna be able to do with this when it's just a one person one. But hey, let's keep it going.
I mean, we all already said Alan Wake was a bad game. We were just.
Oh
doing it out
my
of respect.
god! Is no one else an Alan Wake fan here?
I mean, I like the classic like Quantic Dream, or not Quantic Dream, whoever the fuck made that game.
Remedy.
Remedy. I like some of their like storytelling techniques, and oh man, there's like real life footage in the game. Like some of that stuff is interesting, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think that really hangs. I don't think the gameplay is particularly interesting. I don't think it's particularly scary.
It's
I ran out
pulpy.
of batteries a lot.
Yeah,
You will.
when I said that thing about games still on this list, that I will rather hear the argument about the game I haven't played, I was talking about Alan Wake specifically.
That's so. I hate it.
I love how
hate
it's
it.
Sam's turn, but we're all shit talking a game that there's no way he's picking right now.
It's not
I
my
mean,
turn.
Speaking of issues with like series, like I would say Control is definitely better than Alan Wake. And my hot take is I think Quantum Break is better than Alan Wake.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
I
Get
haven't
out
played
of
Quantum
here!
Break, but Control, yes, better game.
So the atmosphere of Alan Wake, that's the thing though. I don't know if Control matched that. It's pretty close. And Quantum Break did not. So I don't know.
Off vibes, I don't think any game on the list of stuff that we don't have kind of set aside right now matches it.
Yeah.
Like, there's just nothing like it as far as that pulpy. I don't find it to be scary either. Like, in the end, I don't think it's trying to be.
I don't think so
that.
either.
But
So
just the way.
So Alan Wake gets cut.
It sounds that way. It sounds that way.
Yeah, did we just hijack Sam's turn?
No, it
It
was my
your turn. I think, Tanner.
It was my turn, but I'm fine with Alan Wake getting cut as my turn.
Yeah.
Sam, if you want to give it any last words.
No, I guess like the only thing I can say is that it's unlike any other game that we're going to kind of talk about here. As far as like, I think the story, how it deals out the storytelling is probably better than the actual storytelling it does do.
Mm-hmm.
I just think the vibes are just off the charts, and I'm a vibes kind of guy. And I just don't think that we're going to talk about anything quite like that going forward today.
All right.
That's all I got.
Alan Awake. Cut. Gone.
No. Oh no.
All right. Bronson. Where are you feeling? Should we read what games are left?
Yes.
All right. Let me read what games are left, and I'll say if there's a note by them. So we have 999, which is currently tabled. Battlefield Bad Company 2. BioShock 2, which is currently tabled. Civ 5, which is a lock. Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc, which is a table. Dragon Quest 9, Sentinels of the Starry Skies. Fallout New Vegas. Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, which is currently tabled. Halo Reach, which is currently tabled. Kirby's Epic Yarn. Mass Effect 2. Mountain Blade Warband. Nier, which is a lock. Pac-Man Championship Edition DX, which is a table. Red Dead Redemption. Rockman 3. Skate 3. StarCraft 2, which is a table. Super Mario Galaxy 2. Super Meat Boy, which is tabled. Vanquish. VVV. And that's it.
Do I want to try and lock something? Because there's some obvious locks here. There's like the stuff we haven't talked about, just because we once we get that conversation started, it's either we're locking it then and there, and then the hard part for that is where it lands in the top 10. So why don't we? I want to try and lock Skate 3. I think that's the best Skate game. I think that's the most content dense one. It kind of hit everything that I was trying to do that first and second games didn't quite do. Its multiplayer was excellent, and all the replay editor stuff was kind of started in one but kind of perfected. So I kind of want to push for a lock on Skate 3. And then see what everyone else thinks.
I can dig a Skate 3 lock. I figured it would make it pretty far into it. I was never huge on Skate as a franchise. I know it just never was really my cup of tea, I guess. Not to say it was a bad game, it's just like a game I didn't really rock with a ton. But I think it, knowing who is here, I think that's a game that probably pretty easily makes the top 10. So I'm fine with it getting locked unless somebody is like, well, hold on.
Yeah, I think similar problem. I think Skate 2 is better. I do think Skate 3 has the gameplay is a little more refined, and obviously graphically it's the top tier out of these games, but the sort of lacking the continuous world that Skate 2 and 1 had, I feel like that was sort of a big if you have to argue Skate 2 over it. I'm okay with it being locked, but that being said, like there's a lot of other good games here, and you have to start thinking about like if you lock in Skate 3, you're locking out something really good. So
yeah,
I just think we need to support EA. We need to support Electronic Arts on this list.
Skate 3 is in my top 10, but it's not the top. So, but I think it's got enough support to probably make the end of our list, but yeah, I don't know about lock.
Well, then in that case, goodbye, Vanquish. Goodbye.
No!
You took it away from me. I take one away.
I'm not taking Skate 3 away. I'm just
We're just not locking it.
just not locking it.
I consider that it's a no. There's other stuff we can cut here that I'm looking through here. Let's see. Mountain Blade. So that's on the list. So someone here must really like Mountain Blade if it's on here.
Is this a Sam game?
Yeah, Mountain Blade whips.
Mountain Blade is amazing. It's got amazing, the scaling of it is ridiculous, and it's lasted even past the sequel, which came out officially last year, I think. So, in terms of staying power, you can still play it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think it's a game that does one of the things that I value most is just like, it does feel like a sandbox. So many games feel like they say, oh yeah, it's just a sandbox world. But Mountain Mount Blade just feels like you can just go out there and fuck around and have a blast, and I'm all the way there for it. And it's every time I need kind of a comfort food game, I go to Mount Blade as kind of one of my games in rotation in that regard. It just feels so cozy to figure out, okay, I'm going to just scale up my army. I'm going to take my gang of robbers and bandits and we're going to mess around for a while. I'm going to escape jail time. I'm going to go up the social ladder and things like that. So for me, it's just, again, one of those games like, oh, I don't think there's games that have come out since that don't really capture that sense of scale and being able to feel like you can carve your own path in it. That said, I'm not sure if there's a lot of people here that have that same appreciation or look for that in kind of games, or look for something that's a little bit more guided in those terms.
I don't want to. Oh man, this is again. Why is it me that gets the rough angle here?
It doesn't sound like there's a lot of support for Mountain Blade as much as I love it.
Yeah, I can't go to bat for it at all. It seems like something I really dig.
I can appreciate the incredible impact it's had, and like the player base still sticks with it, which is kind of something that you can't say for most of these games.
It's really cool, but it's not in my top 10, so.
I'm sorry, Mountain Blade.
All right, Chris.
$21 games left.
21 games left.
In theory.
So,
well, technically 19 if we take away the 2 locks.
True.
Yeah. So there's 19 competing for 8 spots.
Yeah.
Yep.
So half this list is going out.
So let's hear the case from the Dragon Quest IX contingent.
Is that my music?
Yeah.
It's my music.
Oh my God, Skylar's coming down from the rafters.
Look out.
I'm sitting cross-legged on the ramp right now. Hi, Akihiro Hino, how you doing? Like, this game rocks. I think that the reason why I'm gonna let it rock here, let it have its time in the sun and then get cut, is because of the like modern Dragon Quest games, like Dragon Quest 11 is just one of the best RPGs ever made. It's sort of in terms of mainline Dragon Quest, like that's the modern standard of this century. But Dragon Quest 9, I mean, fascinating game, great story, great characters, great gameplay. Did some really interesting stuff with multiplayer. It was the first Dragon Quest game to include a multiplayer mode, and you could like trade mats and like loan characters and fight with people like through the Wi-Fi system on the DS, which also made it like this huge hit in Japan, even more so than most Dragon Quest games because had this social element. I think that a lot of the game design inspiration of the game actually came from Western games, which is sort of unique. It took in like, this was the first game that came out that there was like some Elder Scrolls DNA in it and things like that. And I think it sort of changed the trajectory of the entire series to sort of modernize as a whole. So it's awesome. And if you're interested in Dragon Quest, and maybe you've played 11 and want to dive deeper, like this is a great one. So, but I get that it doesn't hang. It's fine. It's in my top 10 personally, but I'm okay with punting it off now.
Is there another way to play it besides a DS, like an emulator? I guess
I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, emulation is a moral good, and in fact, a moral imperative. And as someone who has made multiple games, I urge you to pirate games at any cost, because these people don't give a fuck. I mean, look, how many fucking games have we talked about today that we can't even play now? There's literally no legal way to play. I mean, games
Yeah.
Oh
like
no,
Mag.
I'm fine. I
punishment.
just didn't know if this was
Yeah.
one of the ones that
Yeah,
got like a weird. re-release.
emulate it. DS emulation is really great state. So
Yeah.
you can emulate it and play through it really easily.
Cool. All right. Well, man, at this point, it's like the rest of this list arguably is nothing but heavy hitters.
Yep.
All right. So I want to kind of start going through some of these non-notes that we haven't talked about at all. Battlefield Bad Company 2.
Okay.
Cut it. Wow. We just went. Yeah. Heavy hitters. Yeah. Whatever.
It's only like has this great like reputation because it was like the first Battlefield a lot of people who were only playing on console played, but I don't think it's that good. I think it lost a lot of what made Battlefield 2 really good and Battlefield 2142 really good. It sort of was like even like Battlefield 3, which is sort of like a more traditional game. It has its own issues, but I think the Bad Company series is just a little too arcade shooter for my taste personally.
More words than it deserves.
Yeah, Battlefield Bad Company 2 for me was kind of like my backup plan if people were going to give me shit about Halo Reach, but I'm getting Halo Reach further than I thought I would be able to.
I would argue against Halo Reach, but I would argue Halo Reach is a better game. So,
all right, Skylar, what are we cutting, or what are we doing to something?
I would take another thing that has no notes. We're locking New Vegas. I mean, that's sort of a given.
I was going to bring up the question. It at least warrants the discussion. Are we locking it?
Yeah.
That's got to
Here's what I want to note for New Vegas. That game, even now, almost 13 years later, at launch came in molten lava hot. That thing was incredibly buggy. It's
one of the jankiest games ever.
But in spite of that, it's an easy lock, and that's kind of a testament to Obsidian and what they were able to do in spite of all their technical issues they had with this game. So yeah, that's a lock. That's an easy lock.
I'm also going to something that has no notes, but I'm going a different direction. I think Kirby's Epic Yarn can get cut. I think I'd be the one that fought for it the most.
I would fight for Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Really?
What a cute game. What a lovely game. That is
it's a beautiful game. It brings a tear to your eye.
I mean, it is gorgeous. I won't deny. Just like me personally, I don't even know if it reaches my top 10. So and I think at this state of the game, everybody's cutting a game they at least kind of like, if they've played it. So I think Kirby's Epic Yarn just doesn't have what it takes to hang on especially considering we only have 7 spots left open.
Yep.
And other games on this list I would rather see locked than Kirby's Epic Yarn. I think Kirby's Epic Yarn gets cut.
How will people on movie Twitter feel about Paddington? That's how I feel about Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Damn. Are you going to start photoshopping Yarn Kirby into different scenes?
Nice.
I'm going to start posting Epic Yarn Kirby memes.
Perfect.
I think now's the time to bring them. To
Kirby's Epic memes.
Kirby's
Epic there we go. I mean, my Discord name is Kirby on my Epic Yarn. So, I was going to bat for it, but I just don't think it hangs with what we have left.
Yeah.
All right.
Goodbye, Kirby.
Well, it is gone. So we have some games left.
We have 3 locks.
We have 3 locks. There are currently 3, 6, 8 tabled. And then the rest have no notes. But there's some heavy hitters in there.
Yeah. So I think it's time to start making some alliances here. Time to start teaming up here. So let me look through this list here. What can like gaslight / gatekeep / girl boss into a lock here? I think locking Red Dead would be the move here. If we're talking about games that kind of overcome their technical shortcomings, because Red Dead ran okay, it's held together by duct tape and like super glue, Elmer's glue. It's a miracle it runs at all, and that might be my number 1 or number 2 on this list. It's an excellent game.
I mean, I love Red Dead.
It's the heaviest hitter here, as far as I'm concerned.
It is the heaviest hitter here.
Oh man, is it?
It looms. It's the looming specter overall.
Like-
so, like, if we need to hash it out.
Like, I'm not saying it's my number 1. I'm just saying it's the heavy. Like,
I don't even. I mean, it's obviously not my number 1. I don't think it's the heaviest hitter left on this list, though.
I feel weird
mean,
calling
that
that
might be
heaviest
new
hitter
bonus.
when we almost on purpose skip the last unnoted game in Mass Effect 2. Feels like, oh, if you skip past it, you want to avoid it.
I absolutely want to avoid that conversation. You kidding me?
So I mean, that's the one that feels like, to me, that sticks out like a sore thumb.
Mass Effect 2 feels like the titan among mortal men left on this list. As far as heavy hitters go, I mean.
Well, do you want to run Mass Effect 2 now? Because we can get into that. Because
I mean, I think Mass Effect 2 is an easy lock. I think it's an easy lock. I think it's like one of the best games ever. And that's I've thought that for like 9 years at this point since I first played it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to like get my thoughts in order because I don't know where everybody else here stands on it, so I don't know how much of a.
You're not sure if you're gonna catch a chair in the back.
I'm trying to see how
you need to push this for 1 later on if you're going to use your case now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we cut it.
Do you think we cut Mass Effect 2? I think that's fucking stupid.
It's not even the best Mass Effect game. Let's just get this book.
Not even the best. See, and I also disagree with that. I think it's.
That's honestly, I just love Mass Effect 1 because I'm a very big Knights of the Old Republic guy. So that one plays the most similar, and that's what I like more action based things they went with for 2 and 3, but that's just personal preference. I think we should just lock Mass Effect 2 and then move to another person. If you made me guess,
All right.
this is
do
gonna
we
get
have do we have
difficult.
do we have 3 votes to lock Mass Effect 2? Because
Yeah, mine.
I would not vote yes.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
I'm not voting for it. I have no
Tanner,
feelings
you
towards
need,
it.
Now we're
Tanner,
talking.
you need, Tanner, you
against
need to
3.
start taking a stand here.
okay.
You need to-
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Y'all heard of Mass Effect 2 before?
Yeah, the worst game in the series.
No.
Worst game in the series.
What is Mass Effect? Sounds like Mass
Worst
Effect.
game in the fucking series. Are you counting Andromeda?
I haven't played Andromeda, but
It's
I
the
don't
worst
know.
game.
Mass Effect 2
Andromeda
does-
is.
Mass Effect 2
Oh.
does really suck, man. I mean,
Oh Jesus!
it really like it just stripped out like everything that made Mass Effect 1 a great game. it has like less atmosphere, worse characters, worse story.
But
Worse
what if I
gameplay.
told you can import your character from your saved game of Mass Effect
True.
1?
Very
my
true.
character was cool. I don't know about your character, but
Who'd
based
you
on your
save?
other opinions. Listen. We stand Ashley in this household.
Never mind. No, we're get out of here. Get out of here. Lock this up. Lock up.
I think we move on. I don't think anyone's given a impassioned plea to get
Alright.
to a lock.
Tabled.
Table it. There we go.
I hate it here.
I mean, at this point,
redemption.
there's no point of table. It's either
There's no
lock
point
or
of table.
cut.
It's either lock or cut. Yeah.
So
I disagree with that.
I just
Disagree.
we are not.
No,
It is not lock or cut.
Let's
Because
fill in.
we got to go back through all the tables if we do that.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to go back through the tables because there's too many tables for how many spots we have left.
Wait. Let's lock VVVVV.
Get the fuck out of
Let's
here.
do
Oh,
it.
yeah,
that is locked. That is locked.
Hold on, I think VVV does get locked. Yeah,
That is locked. That is locked. All right.
Nah, delete.
Let me highlight it. Let me
That
highlight
game
it.
sucks.
I think VVV. Yeah, I think it gets locked.
Oh,
Yeah, that's a lock
Really?
for me.
what is happening?
Yeah, we have 3
Oh my
locks.
God.
We have 3 locks.
All
for
right, you
VVV.
get 3.
Am I
I'm
right?
not gonna fight it. I'm
No,
not
Yeah,
gonna
we have
fight
3
it.
locks.
Yeah.
Did we get 3? We got Chris, Skylar.
Fuck.
Tanner?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Tanner.
Yeah.
So should
Tanner
we
said
just
yes.
start yelling shit? We want to lock.
No. This is my. Wait a minute. Also, this is my turn. Hang on.
So Bronson,
There's
you
no
said you want
turns
to talk
left.
about Rock Band 3?
I actually, you know what?
What?
Let's-
You do?
You know what? I do. Yeah, I want to lock Rock Band 3
Let's
because
go.
it's the best one.
It is the best Rock Band.
You lose the sense of wonder from original one. I have so many fun memories from that and Guitar Hero 2 and all that. But in terms of like availability,
Is that the last
how
one?
long was it? No, that was
No, there's a
I-
Rock Band 4.
Oh, then no. I don't think so.
This was
You gotta do the one that's.
essentially. This was the swan song. There's a Rock Band 4, but this really
It's not
Rock
as
Band
good.
3 was the swan song of the plastic guitar game.
Yeah, Rock Band 4 is non-canon.
Which one's got all the
You
releases?
can do
since?
multiple voice parts in Rock Band 3. You can sing Good Vibrations in Beach Boy harmonies.
All right, let's go through the full A3 track Rock Band 3 set list.
I
Funny
mean, that's what I was
enough,
going
no.
to do if this was on the chopping block, but I think we're locking it.
I literally
Yeah.
already had it pulled up.
All right,
I just don't know.
52's Rock Lobster.
1 and 2. If like, what sets it aside, especially to be the best? I don't know.
so
Whip It by Devo.
There you go. So 4 is not as good because they ran into issues with it. They ran into compatibility problems.
Also sucked.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
Rock
mean
Band 4, garbage soundtrack.
Yeah.
I think in terms of compatibility for Rock Band 3, a lot of stuff worked with it. A lot of songs were able to be pulled over. A lot of song availability. Basically, if you don't mess with Rock Band at all or any Guitar Hero stuff, then this ain't gonna convince you. But if that's what you like, this is the game.
You can completely ruin the vibes of a party doing singing Before I Forget. Like, it's a great game.
Rock Band 3 to me is the second best plastic instrument game ever.
Are you a DJ Hero person? Is that what you're about to say?
DJ Hero 2 would be number 3, but I think Guitar Hero I do think Guitar Hero 3
Okay.
is the best, the pinnacle. But Rock Band 3 is damn close, and I
feel weird about Rock Band 3 in the sense that like I have not played it in close to a decade. So it's like, oh, what are my feelings about this game actually? But also the vibes are so immaculate during that period of time of my
Yes.
life. Like
I have played it within the last few years at a party. It still hits.
Yeah,
I was about to say, like, if it didn't hit, I wouldn't hold it against it. Still, is the thing. It's like this is such a time and place thing.
it is, but the time and place is now. And
Okay.
I would
harmonic.
play
Yeah.
Rock Band 3 immediately. I would play that right now.
Yeah, we need to all get together and have a Rock Band party.
All right, who's coming to Philadelphia for WrestleMania next year?
Let's go. I don't know where that is.
Philadelphia.
Yeah. Is it like on
We're
the
all
west?
we're
Are
all
we
gonna
locked in
do the
Rock Band
Pretty
3?
Girls Make Grave song.
I'm locking in Rock Band 3 unless someone wants to say otherwise.
I'm okay with it getting locked. I'm not going to say I would personally lock it, but I'm perfectly fine with Rock Band 3 making this list.
I typed it in. I bolded it. It's over.
All right. Somebody, okay. Now we have 5 locks, but we still
Yeah.
have fucking 8 tables.
We're at the point now we're gonna have to start making some.
So we
tough-
have to cut BioShock 2.
Oh, get the
Oh,
frick out.
Yes.
Oh man. Oh no.
I don't think so. I think we can start talking about some other games before we get there, like Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Oh, shut
I mean,
the
we-
fuck up. Here,
We just haven't
okay.
talked about it yet. I think we got to talk about the games we haven't talked about yet. I think it's a fair thing to do.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
It's
good diffuse. Good diffuse.
If you make an argument, it's like, oh yeah, it's a lock. Great. I don't think you will, but let's try it. See what happens.
I don't. Okay, here's my thing. Out of the two twos we have on this list, Mass Effect 2 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, I'd rather.
BioShock 2.
And StarCraft 2.
Okay, hold on.
There's
the
so
two,
many
the
twos.
two I care about. Okay, well, let me. I'm not wearing my glasses. For a second,
Okay.
StarCraft 2 registered in my brain as 11. So let's just move
Yeah,
that
that's
out.
fair. That's fair. Yeah.
BioShock 2, I think we've all already said we think is bad. We just have it on the table out of respect. I think out of Mass Effect 2 and Super Mario Galaxy 2, I would rather personally keep Super Mario Galaxy 2. I would be okay with cutting.
No, get off my lawn. What is going on?
I would be okay with cutting Mass Effect 2 over Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Everyone's getting betrayed.
I'm confused. You just said you would rather keep Mass Effect 2?
No, I'd rather.
Why are we
Super
keeping
Mario
BioShock 2? But there's no respect.
We're talking about all. We're talking about the games we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, Sam is just saying games we shouldn't talk about. BioShock 2's getting cut. There's no fucking debate about that. BioShock 2
circle
is
back.
a cut.
We can circle back
to it.
Yep.
But there are a few games we just haven't mentioned yet.
We're almost out of circles.
Yeah, and very tight circle. I would rather keep Super Mario Galaxy 2 over Mass Effect 2.
Why are we keeping Mass Effect 2 then? The game that you said is one of the best of the decade.
I said it's one. It's one. Okay, and
you're picking one of the two.
Hold on.
One, get rid of the other one.
I would keep Super Mario Galaxy 2. Get rid of Mass Effect 2. Mass Effect 2 is a great game.
Oh God!
Super Mario Galaxy 2 is a better game.
What is happening?
This is amazing.
All right. Perfect. All right.
So we're getting rid of
BioShock.
BioShock 2.
Which is the other one we haven't talked about yet.
Which I mean,
I'm the last one that doesn't have a note.
I'm not mad at Tanner just like putting
Tanner
Mass
just
Effect
back the
on
bus up. Right, just back the bus up.
That's so sick. I'm in full support of that, buddy. Let's go.
Listen, sometimes you have to make concessions.
It was a worthy one.
Vanquish fucking whips. I played it just like a month ago. I'm not convinced it's not the best game of all time.
Don't worry, I will convince you in like 2 minutes.
No, but Vanquish does fucking rock. Skylar alluded to it earlier, so I assume Skylar's fairly high on it. It is the best platinum game that was on this list. If it doesn't make the top 10, that's fine, considering what we have left. But I think it's fucking amazing. It's wild to me that game came out in 2010 because the script was feels like it was written in like 97. And then the game, even like the PS4 remaster of it, has like jankiness. I couldn't imagine the PS3 version. But it's fucking a cool time, and you can beat it in like 4.5 hours.
Yeah, it's it's a great game. I can understand the misgivings of it because I think the only problem that I have with it is that it does feel like some of its systems probably would have been a little polished up in a sequel, or maybe if they had more time. But like the flat out gameplay, I mean, you can't really argue with that. Like,
yeah, gameplay wise, it fucking may not be another game on this list I'd rather play more. But it fucking rocks. But I'm perfectly fine with it getting cut if it doesn't have the support to make a top 10, which I don't think it does. Again, I don't know if I would even put it in the top 10, but it does rule quite a bit.
I want that game dead. I want that game annihilated. Oh my goodness. It is. For every reason that you like it, Tanner, I do not jive with that game at all. That story is ridiculous.
Yeah, but it's ridiculous in a good way.
Oh boy. Oh my god. I can't believe we
also,
cut Mass Effect 2. What happened?
I like Vanquish, but it doesn't sound like we're keeping it.
Yeah, I mean, again, even with the 5 locks we already have, I like all 5.
Dude, if we're going Vanquish, we gotta get rid of BioShock 2.
Yeah, BioShock 2 also has to get cut right now.
What? Okay.
BioShock 2, everyone, like, first of all, the story is not that good. DLC is not that good. Yeah, pretty much everything about it is not very good. Also, like, talking about like if we're gonna slam other games for being like unstable, like BioShock 2 did not come out in a great place and still like has issues.
I don't know
with
who's
crashes,
slamming it though.
had issues with.
I don't know who's embarrassing themselves by talking about stability in the games. It like why we even bothering with that right now?
It also just like it doesn't have any atmosphere. It doesn't have any of the atmosphere like the first one has.
Most overrated franchise of all time.
Well, System Shock 2 is raw, but so you're wrong. But yeah.
Of all 61 games, is like the best combat to me. Like it's the best
Vanquish is literally combat. You just argued against eliminating Vanquish.
It's mechanically rich combat of any of the games here.
That's not true.
Like what? What is better?
I told you Vanquish.
It's not mechanically rich. If you think that, I have no idea what to tell you.
Maybe you are playing it incorrectly. Maybe you're not melee canceling through bullets like you should, and maybe you need to get good, and then maybe I'll understand.
I see, but like that's not what I consider to be like a mechanically rich, systems rich. I guess to kind of better define it, systems rich combat.
Yeah, you like bad combat instead. I understand where you're coming from.
I like something that feels a little bit more creative. That doesn't feel like it's tied to your reflexes or things like that. I just I would feel weird that getting cut over, I don't know, like a Nier or the 3.
Okay, well, Nier's locked, so stop whining.
Or 999 Danganronpa.
Yeah, I would think 999 and Danganronpa gets cut. So,
well, hang on a damn minute here.
No, we still have to relitigate Pac-Man because who's really writing for Pac-Man right now?
Okay, all three of these games
You were right.
There we go.
All I know is BioShock 2 is my number 1. So I would feel weird cutting that before we've had some things like Pac-Man, which just feels like maybe 10 to 5 on someone's list.
I'll say Vanquish is not in my top 5. So if we have to cut it, we can cut it.
I'm hearing,
platinum game stuff is not for everybody. But
what I'm hearing is Vanquish.
I dig Vanquish.
Yeah.
My thing was I didn't hear you say anything about Vanquish as far as keeping it on.
Well, just because that's getting cut before BioShock 2, so it feels like if we're cutting Vanquish, but Pac-Man is still hanging, all these other more divisive games are still hanging around. When it feels like outside of Bronson, we all like Vanquish, right? So,
yeah, I would keep Vanquish, frankly.
Oh no!
So am I hearing Vanquish lock?
So we're uncut. It's uncut. It's uncut.
We're not locking it. It's uncut. But I think we can start relitigating the tables.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. There's too many.
I feel like we do that now. Yeah.
All right.
So 999's getting cut.
I'm okay. With that.
I think I can. So Danganronpa and 999, they're not exactly the same type of game, but I think they have a lot of the same appeal. Personally, so I would say if I had to choose between the two, I would rather keep Danganronpa, and I love both of those games, but Danganronpa, it means a little bit more to me.
It is funny that on our list it says developers Spike and for one, and the other one is Chunsoft. It's Spike Chunsoft. It's the same company that made those games. So if we had to pick, I would pick Danganronpa more. So we can cut 999.
Excellent.
See? Easy. Well done. Now cut Pac-Man.
Yeah, I was saying.
Cut Pac-Man.
Okay, fine, but just know, when we circle back and do video game soundtracks, I'm going to ride so fucking hard for Pac-Man.
Well, this isn't soundtracks.
I'll support you. I'll help you out in 2 years.
Pac-Man also fucking rules. I am fine with it getting cut here. I'm not gonna. I have the strongest argument for it out of everybody, it seems, and I'm not willing to die for it to make a top 10. So I'm perfectly fine with it getting cut.
Well, since we're about to cut it, I'll go over its lasting impact. A lot of the Pac-Man things, visually and audio wise, in the arcades and even on mobile, just the branding of it kind of come from Championship Edition and in particular this one. So that's kind of a key thing that sticks around even still today, 13 years later. Goodness gracious. 13 years. I didn't even think about it. I don't like thinking about that.
Yeah, I didn't realize when I was looking at like 2010 games, I didn't realize Championship Edition DX was 2010. I was thinking it was way late, well, like mid 2010s.
Mm.
All right.
So how y'all feeling about Super Meat Boy right now?
That is a
Don't-
big
don't
game
test
for
me on this.
indies.
Don't test me on this.
I feel
You've called out your 1 and 2s, so it can't be that.
Yeah, it's not 1 or 2 for me. But I do think that, I get where Chris was coming from earlier. I think you had suggested to cut it, that it was like this sort of antiquated, this early generation of indie games that maybe doesn't hang. But I actually think that the gameplay is really, really sharp. The amount of levels, like the amount of, if you really want to get in deep with that game, do all of the alternate levels, all of the like secrets and stuff. There's like a lot to be had there. And I actually see this as sort of like a natural precursor to something like Celeste, which is like,
Oh yeah, it is.
yeah. And I okay, this game is not Celeste. Celeste is like the best platformer ever made, but I get if we want to keep like one of this in VVV because they are sort of similar, and I think VVV is just a little sharper in some ways. But I think this game is, probably like a top 5 platformer of this decade. I think in terms of like the super fast skill based, run games, you're just running the same level over and over again. Like it's really snappy. Music still hits. The visuals are still really, really fun. Especially for like this era of like, Flash type game. Like the art still holds up and like looks good. So you don't get that very often. And in terms of other stuff, like, not to point fingers, but like we already decided Skate 3 doesn't have that many defenders. How are we coming on Super Meat Boy?
What is this redirect? What is this redirect? I was gonna back you on Super Meat Boy too. You know what? Get this out of here. Goodbye.
I think both are kind of
on the
not
bubble.
getting a lot of love.
I see Skylar's point, but I also agree with Skylar in the sense I think it's a little redundant for VVVV and Super Meat Boy making the list, and I think V is a bit better. I think, like Skylar said, a little bit sharper. I like the visuals of V more. I like the soundtrack of V more. And I think it's V, especially playing it when I did. I think it's just a more playable game now than it doesn't frustrate me as much as Super Meat Boy, which whatever. But I think it's a lot more accessible, and I think it's I think it's just an overall better package than Super Meat Boy. I love Super Meat Boy. Loved Super Meat Boy when I first played it. I just don't think it hangs on this list.
I think the story, like behind the taking apart like the actual game of Super Meat Boy, that was like your breakthrough indie of this year. Like VV did well. Super Meat Boy went supernova a bit, but beyond that, I think everyone else's points are correct. I don't want to cut it.
I mean, this isn't a popularity cut like this. We're not.
Yeah,
talking
but
about
in terms
record
of
sales here,
we're not talking about that. But in terms of like impact for indies, that's super important because without Super Meat Boy, we don't get to our other pieces. So that's kind of what I think about when we're talking about games of the year for 2010 and in this decade. Like, what did it do for other games? Is kind of how I look at it. So that's that part, but I'm not against cutting it either. I think we can.
We're in the top 15 here, so I do think I'm okay with cutting games that are like really great. And I do like the variety having in the top 10. So like I said, I love VVV as well. So yeah. But also a great game to revisit if you haven't played it in a while, because unlike some of the other indie games we touched on, it does hold up. So
yeah, like it's not like Limbo where you just acknowledge the influence and then but don't really want to play it. It is still fun to play. It's just it's not my fate. Like we've talked about it plenty.
Yeah, I think Super Meat Boy is a great game, but
I'm happy with it in the top 15.
Yeah, I'm fine with it getting cut.
Why is BioShock still here?
Oh, we're all like in StarCraft 2. Is that what I'm hearing? We're all
no, that's what StarCraft 2 to me is the next game we have to fucking talk about here.
Like I I'm not talking about StarCraft 2. I will cut that, but we just keep talking past the BioShock 2 issue.
I don't define it as an
Somebody
issue. We'll
is
get back to it.
deflecting it.
It's a lifetime achievement award.
All right, I will say,
Why does everyone hate BioShock 2?
We don't hate it.
People
It's
like
just-
it's not good.
I just don't understand.
Is it in anyone else's top 10? That's
no
what I thought.
one?
Bioshock 2, I don't think makes my top 30 for 2010.
It wouldn't make my top 10,000. Like, that game's not good. It's
I just don't understand that. Like the way you can kind of combine your power slash like just feel like you can set traps and do shit like that. It just feels like between this like Mountain Warblade, it's like, oh, I like doing things where I feel like I have the creativity to do more of it my own way.
I think the combat.
Like,
I mean, it has a lot of options. It has a lot of options, a lot of creativity, which I get. But I think that the problem that I feel like is mainly on the balance side, and this is also sort of a problem with BioShock, where it's somewhat a survival horror in some ways, but then the resources are way too plentiful for it to be a survival horror. And then if you bump it up to harder difficulties, it just becomes very bullet spongy, and you're presented with all these options, but they don't particularly like feel great or feel different. And in terms of like the more combat focused Shock series, I actually think the Combat in Infinite is a little bit better, because it still has the same degree of
absurd. I think Infinite just strips any kind of like feel of playfulness away from it. It's
well, you can't.
If one way of
you
going
can't
about
do grapple points on BioShock 2, so
that
also,
is the only thing it's got.
What about the story? Like, do you like BioShock 2's story?
No, but also like for any of the games that we've talked about today, I'm like, I don't know if I have enjoyed really any of the 2010 stories, except maybe. No, actually, no. Even Alan Wake's like, I love the vibes. I love the story, the way it's dishing out the story. The story.
Well, yeah, no video game had a good story till like 2018, so that's fine.
Like, I don't find Fallout New Vegas to be that engrossing, all things considered, but I know that I will be one of the few on this call. So it's like, okay, if I'm not valuing that across the board with anything, I gotta look at things that like really stand out and feel like, oh, they're best in their class.
Yeah, I respect your love for it. I actually get where you're coming from, but I think it's still a cut based on the metrics that we have established here.
Same thing with Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Fuck off.
that we haven't mentioned in 2 hours, and nobody else made a case for it.
I like we're trying these sneak attacks now.
Because we tabled it.
Yeah, we tabled it, but did we table it just because it was better than bad?
There were other tables that were more deserving of cuts than Ghost Trick Phantom Detective.
Well, now
that's why we haven't talked about it.
We're getting into the nitty gritty. Where does Ghost Trick Phantom Detective lie for the panel?
Ghost Trick Phantom Detective cost me another Ace Attorney game in a timely fashion. So for that reason, I am furious. It is a good game.
There's enough. I love Ace Attorney games. There's enough of them. We got this. We got this too. It's very nice. It's a delightful game.
And we got one of them, and it cost me everything. Oh man. I've got here. One.
Does Ghost Trick really make? I mean, it doesn't make the top 10 of what's left.
Well, okay, let's just do a show of hands. Who's saying yes to it?
We can't see.
I would say yes to it. It's top 10 for me.
It is top 10 for me.
Oh fuck!
Is it top 5 for both of you?
Well, no, but that's not what we're asking.
Yeah, that's not what we're asking.
Yeah, that's
what I'm asking when we're getting down to this. Like, hey,
no, well, let's do that with how many people have Halo Reach in their top 10?
Mate, I do.
Okay, let me move down the list.
All right,
okay. Hold on.
We can cut Skate 3 here.
Feels like already mentioned we can cut Skate 3.
Okay. We can cut Skate 3. That's fine. Here's the concession I'm hearing.
It's so easy.
It sounds like Ghost Trick and Halo Reach have the same amount of support. Why don't we just fucking lock both of them?
How many?
Because I think the last. I think there's other stuff that's more deserving. than Halo Reach.
Who put Lock by Vanquish? When did we decide that?
That's crazy.
That's
I wonder who
implied.
did that.
That's implied.
That's implied. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, wait.
So-
Let's get another lock because I have another lock. I would
Is
say
Vanquish
based on what-
locked?
No.
No, I would say that's a soft lock. I would say Super Mario Galaxy 2, in terms of what's left, it hangs. It's a lock.
Yes, it's
It's the
Yeah.
best non-locked game left. So yeah, I would say.
Tanner
yes.
lost Mass Effect 2 for this, so I have to support
yeah.
it.
We have to.
respect
I
it.
think I respect the sacrifice. Also, it's in my top 10. Also,
Okay.
And
like it's better-
this is wild to me.
Yeah.
that we like
Galaxy-
Super Mario
Galaxy-
Galaxy 2.
Galaxy 2 is good. I mean, the only good Galaxy game, but
yeah, yeah, it improves on everything of Super Mario Galaxy 1.
No, I actually agree with that. But Super
Like,
Mario
the
Galaxy One
level
is still
design,
good.
The level design is much better. It feels better to play.
Yoshi.
You can ride a fat Yoshi.
True.
It's awesome.
Okay, so out of the non-cut, okay, so we have 6 locks, and we have six.
spots.
We gotta
Six
lock
uncut
Vanquish so I can feel engaged for the top 10.
God, out of what's left, so it sounds like there is a lot of. So it sounds like there is the same amount of support for Ghost Trick and Halo Reach, because it sounded like 2 separate people for each have them both in their top 10s. 2 very passionate cases. I feel like out of what's left, those 2 games are going to have I guess stronger
Support from the panel.
stronger support from the panel in general. So I feel like either they're both cuts or they're both locks at this point.
well, what if we talked about Red Dead Redemption?
Okay.
Does anyone have it in their top 10?
I do. I have it in my top 5. I have it in my top 3.
Well, it sounds like it has less
That means
top 10s
nothing.
than the other 2. So
Means
yeah, this
nothing.
point, and we got rid of BioShock 2, and that was Sam's number 1.
You're
Red
getting
Dead-
rid of Red Dead
Red Dead
Redemption.
is my number 10, which means it is my number 10.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds like the same level of.
Oh,
means-
does it now? Oh, that's
Which means
crazy.
there's other stuff I support way
Okay.
higher.
It definitely sounds like StarCraft 2 gets cut then.
Okay, hold on. Is anyone gonna back me up on StarCraft 2 as a top 10 game?
No, you betrayed me too many times. That's your ass. Get this game out of here.
Okay, I can deal with. Man, StarCraft. It was my number 2, so
Oh, okay.
yeah. So if no one else, like I said, if no one else has in their top 10, I'm fine because we did cut BioShock 2. But StarCraft 2 is the best RTS ever made. So not a genre that I love actually, the RTS, but it's sort of like platonic ideal of like a competitive RTS. The expansions are all sick. The amount of community around that game, like there's so much. My freshman year roommate in college dropped out because he played StarCraft 2 all day, every day, instead of going to class or showering.
Oh, no.
So
that's no good.
That speaks to the power of the game. It's great.
No
And-
Halo Wars.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Oy vey. This hurts.
So if we're cutting my faves, let's get rid of some of the fluff here.
So
Yeah,
half this list is your face.
So-
What do you mean?
All right, we have. Hold on, is my count correct? We have 5 games left for 4 spots, so we only
Yep.
have to cut 1 more game.
Yep.
Let's just go around and say the game that you want to cut, like
Yes.
your least favorite game, and we'll go
Yep.
from there.
I agree.
Oh,
All right.
God.
In
All
that
right.
same order.
Oh, I gotta go first? All right. Ghost Trick.
It's me.
Yeah.
Danganronpa.
Oh, this is stress.
Danganronpa.
This is so
Wha-
dead.
What's happening?
Fuck. Wait, is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, I really have to be strategic here.
Yeah, you do.
I'm going to be strategic and say Ghost Trick.
Let's go. Let's go. All right.
Tanner, you got this.
Uh-oh. Hmm.
Here, you've essentially got two choices here. Don't overthink it.
Anime or anime?
Well, Tanner is actually just
Tanner
dropped
there.
us a call
That'd be so funny.
during the most tense moment of the
Tanner
podcast.
just leaves instead. Now I'm getting worried.
Yeah, buddy.
The strep took him out.
Oh no.
This is so.
Surreal.
Come on.
Oh my god.
He just messaged me. He said that he voted for Ghost.
No, he did. Oh, that's crazy. Good work, everyone.
He
No,
DM'd me,
I'm
it's all
back.
good.
I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. What happened?
Oh, we should have said no.
My shit died.
Oh no. Well, we'll have to edit that part out. So just remember around. I don't know what time.
No, I'm not editing this. Come on.
What do you mean? That was like.
All right.
All
Tanner,
right.
you gotta pick between Danganronpa and Ghost Trick.
Oh, I picked. Danganronpa gets cut.
What the
Boom.
fuck?
Whoa, I thought
No,
you hated
no.
Ghost Trick.
Yeah, Ghost Trick is
Done,
bad.
No, it's okay because Skylar saying Ghost Trick actually removed the vote for it. So that only has one person for it.
What?
Boom. Gone.
That's
Here we
not what
go.
That's not
That's
what
how
that
it
means.
happens. You can't be strategic around cutting something like that. You
No, I
gotta
gotta
commit
admit,
to the opinion.
I've been betrayed.
Both of those were in my top 10, so it was gonna suck. But the fact that Halo Reach is still here is insane. Like,
It made it. Danganronpa was the last one.
All right.
all right,
I need.
well, we have our
I-
top 10.
Yeah, I need somebody's help real quick. How do I? How am I able to see the fuck? Oh, never mind. Hold on. Never mind. We're good. Okay. Never mind.
There you go.
about to-
I got you. We got you.
yeah.
We got you.
I was about to ask a boomer ass question. Okay, so interesting that somebody has Locked by Fallout New Vegas. So our top 10 in some order: Civ 5, Fallout New Vegas, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, Halo Reach, Nier, Red Dead Redemption, Rock Band 3, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Vanquish, and VVV. Do we want to take a final break before we start ordering these?
Yeah, let's do one more. Second
Okay.
place.
Yeah.
Just real
Okay.
quick.
All right. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Final part of GOTY Gang 2010. Just to recap, I'm already seeing some numbers I'm not liking in here. Just to recap, the 10 games that will be our top 10 in some order: Civ 5, Fallout New Vegas, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective, Halo Reach, Nier, Red Dead Redemption, Rock Band 3, Super Mario Galaxy 2, Vanquish, and VVV. If you would have asked me 3 hours ago what makes our top 10, I would have said maybe 2 of these make our top 10. So pretty great start to this. So I just want to know the motherfucker that put 10 by Halo Reach.
I think it was all of us.
Well, hang
We all
on.
disagreed on that.
Whoa.
We literally,
Process.
we all agreed on this while you were gone, Tanner.
I don't remember this part. I'm not a party to this. I need Tanner's favorite for later.
I mean, I'll be honest. I'm pretty happy that Halo Reach got to 10 or made the top 10. I'm perfectly fine with Halo Reach being locked at 10.
Okay. That's a fair.
If Ghost Trick goes to 9, yeah, there
Let's
we go.
Let's go, Tanner. Let's go. We're on the same page. Ghost Trick at 9. It's made it far enough. It is a great game. It's made its position.
Let's keep it easy. I feel like Rock Band 3 is a solid 8. Like that's a great place for it. A great celebration of everything Harmonix did. Great game, but it feels like we're like in the discussion that we had, we were sort of like, oh yeah, this is every Guitar Hero 1 and 2 and Rock Band. Like we're sort of like, this is the culmination of all that. I don't really feel that way. For me, like maybe some Rock Band 1 with the novelty, maybe Guitar Hero 2 Xbox edition was like the peak of some of the hype for me. But I feel like 8 is still a great place for it here, and we can go from there.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
And,
totally fine with Rock Band 3 going at 8.
Wow, this is
All right.
this is getting. We're rolling along with this. How do we like near
is so
at
nice.
7?
7. Yep.
Because
No, come fuck off.
Skylar-
No,
It's only one person.
that's not good. No, I'm not going to stand for that.
Let's
Like-
sit down.
You can stand, whatever you want to do. 7 it is.
No, okay, wait. Hold on. Let me propose
Oh,
another
yeah.
7.
Yeah.
Let me propose
Oh, yeah.
another 7.
Yeah,
Let me
yeah,
propose
oh,
another
yeah,
7.
yeah,
All right, what's
go
the
ahead.
other 7?
So Vanquish, a lot of people wanted to cut at first.
Let's
How do
go.
we feel about that at 7?
I like that at 7. I think.
No,
that's
I think we're pretty good with Nier, the one-person game at 7. If anyone else has like strong opinions on Nier and that isn't Skylar, like, love it.
Well, first of all, we had 9 months to play these games. You didn't play Nier. That's on you. Like, how did you? It had a remake. It came out. Remake came out last year. Why didn't you play it?
I was busy.
This is all of yours faults. This is not me.
We also had like
I'm not
Months
mad
to
at
jam this
Vanquish at
down
7 either.
What if we just cut Vanquish instead?
for
Something
Nier,
else.
like if we didn't play it, I think that's an issue with the voting base as far as like pushing it. It's like, okay,
I
this
agree.
is my number one.
It is
you
an
should
issue
play
with the
this.
voting base.
Yeah, if it's your number one and you're not pushing it hard enough to get on, like, hey, I didn't push Back Shark 2 hard enough. Didn't make the list at all.
It's not based enough.
So yeah, I think that puts Nier in kind of a similar position, but at 7, which is a great ranking.
Okay, well, do we say Vanquish 6 and then move on to top 5?
Yeah, I'd be okay with.
Yeah, honestly, this
that.
is.
Yeah, that
I feel
seems
like
fine.
it's gonna be easy.
Great work, everyone. We're doing so well.
I think it's Red Dead or VVVVVV.
Oh wait! I forgot Red Dead was on here. That Nier has to be ahead of Red Dead. I feel
Absolutely.
like it's so good. Yes. Wait. Okay. Red Dead. I'm not gonna. I won't relitigate Nier, which is one of the best JRPGs ever made, one of the best soundtracks ever made.
Well, for counting soundtracks, we should bring Pac-Man back into the conversation.
No.
Okay. Prequel to critically acclaimed game that I think all of us love, Nier Automata. And Red Dead Redemption is like one of the worst Rockstar games, like objectively bad gameplay. Story not that interesting. Busted as hell at launch. Truly one of the only games that I literally in prep for this podcast, I pulled out my PlayStation 3, pulled out the old fat PS3 that's backwards compatible, pulled out my copy of Red Dead Redemption 1, ready to play. I had never finished the game before because I had encountered a bug in which every time I went to go do a mission, my horse and my character would fall through the ground and the game would freeze and then break. And because of that, I lost like a 50-hour save and I never went back to it. I booted up the game and on disc, PS3 disc, Red Dead Redemption, and the exact same thing happened on the first mission of my new game. And I tried it 10 times. It did it every single time. This is a disc version of the game. There's no patch, no anything can happen to fix this. And I wound up having to emulate the PS3 version of the game on my PC to finish it. This game is busted. Like it's just not very good. Red Dead Redemption 2 is sort of like the actual good version of this game. Nier is way better. So why don't we just put Red Dead at 7, Vanquish at 6, and then Nier at 5.
Well, what I'm hearing actually
Is I'm being gaslit.
is Red Dead at 7, Nier at 6, Vanquish top 5 at number 5.
What I'm hearing is that
I'll take
Nier
that.
is still.
I'll take that. I'll take
Nier
that.
Is,
Let's compromise.
Here's
No,
a
That's
better
the worst compromise possible.
Nier
Tanner,
is
don't
that's
have
not
to
giving
give in.
No, I'm not
Nier
giving
has
into that.
nothing.
Nier is
Nier
better
has-
than Red Dead.
No shot.
Nier
No shot.
Well, okay. Yeah, I mean, I will say I think Red Dead has more support. I do think Nier and Red Dead at 6 and 7. Oh, first of all, let's take Vanquish out of this. Vanquish seems like
No,
it's
no, no,
gonna
no,
make-
no, 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 no. I don't think so. There, Chief.
This
Let's
is like
let's have a
popular vote
discussion.
versus electoral college. in my
Seems
opinion.
like Vanquish is making top 5. Red Dead's
So
fallen.
Tanner,
Red Dead
I'll make it.
7. Red
I'll
Dead
make it-
7.
Tanner, I'll make a deal with you. I will back Vanquish at 5.
This isn't
please.
Survivor. You can't.
It is. It is. This is how this works. This is how it works. We're whipping
I'm
the
playing.
votes here.
I'm playing My Idol right now, and Civ 1 or Civ 5 is
Alright.
number 1.
All right, Vanquish at 5.
I'm not
I will
against it.
back that. But the
Nier at
caveat
6.
for that is Nier at 7, Red Dead at 6. I'm okay with the rest.
No, listen, the Nier versus Red Dead argument, I don't care one way or another.
You do if you listen to me.
Wait.
If,
No,
if you don't
let's just
back
vote.
me,
Let's just vote one by one.
Yeah,
Okay,
Let's
So
Nier,
what do we-
Nier or Red Dead.
yeah, say
Say,
Nier or
say
Red
one
Dead.
of those 2 words.
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
Red Dead's 2 words, but
Yeah,
This is the better
red.
game.
Bronson
Yes.
says red.
The better game. The better game.
Red Dead.
Red Dead Redemption. Two to nothing. All right,
Nier,
good going.
Nier,
There we
Nier,
go.
Nier.
Damn, that's crazy.
Chris, what did
Chris.
you say?
I heard Chris say Nier.
You did not. I said nothing. I'm deep in thought. Because like I said, Red Dead Redemption was my personal top 10. Nier is a game I've never played.
Oh,
And,
well,
like-
fuck. Okay, so Nier at 7, Red Dead at 6.
I like it. I like this flavor.
And then Vanquish at 5.
You know the
Which
Lions
is-
are finishing 4th in the division this year. I hate you.
Wow. Oh no.
You couldn't find time to play Nier, but you're finding time to watch the Detroit Pistons March basketball.
Great. It's fun.
Yeah, I hate myself. You should know this.
All right.
You've known me for years. You should know that I want myself to suffer watching the worst basketball imaginable instead of enjoying something.
I'm just gonna
should
sneak
know
that in
this.
secret style. On
VVV at 4?
Yes.
That feels good. That feels right.
You gotta look
Well,
up the other
that
one. We
or
got
Super
live.
Mario Galaxy.
I was about to say, I feel like, first of all, shocked that nobody has even made the argument for Super Mario Galaxy 2 like getting lower, because I feel like it almost got cut.
I would put VVV over Mario Galaxy.
I think I would also put
Ooh.
VVV over Galaxy 2. It's close. It's close. I do think they should go back to back.
How's that?
Uh,
How's that go? Mario at 4.
Is Vanquish better than both of them though?
No.
That
Not
is-
close. No.
Mm.
No, you have no
Oh
chance.
no, I feel
I-
like it might be.
I can put Vanquish over you.
Yeah.
Let me be clear here. I have personally allowed Ghost Trick, Vanquish. Vanquish should not be on this list. That story is absurd. That story is bad. It is very fun to slide around on your rocket boots. Okay.
It's all that
I-
Oh,
matters
yeah, sorry that
sometimes.
you
matters.
don't like games that are fun.
The story is sliding around on your rocket.
I'm sorry you
boots.
don't like cool shit.
But that being said, this isn't about me. It's about the panel. I think those are good spots. I think this order is pretty good so far. I don't think Vanquish. I think Vanquish, if you want to be honest, is probably top 5 of this list. It doesn't go any higher.
Okay, I'll make you a deal because you don't really like Vanquish that much, and I understand that. Is that I think Vanquish could be number 7, and we just put
Shut
Nier
the
at
fuck
5.
up, I knew it.
Because Nier should be in the top 5. Like that's how
No.
strongly I feel about it. It's my number 1.
That's
I think that we should respect everyone's number 1s except for Bioshock 2.
Yeah.
Respect-
I'm gonna go no on
I
that.
mean, it's looking like my number 1 might be the number 1. So
Yeah.
We'll
Oh
see.
my.
So,
We'll see.
but hold on, I do want to circle back to the Super Mario Galaxy versus VVV versus Vanquish. Is that how we feel about those? Vanquish
Versus
at 5,
Nier. Versus
Galaxy.
Nier.
No. Vanquish at 5, Galaxy 2 at 4, VVV at 3, or does
I'm
Vanquish
okay with that.
does Vanquish jump Galaxy 2?
I don't think so.
I think Vanquish is better than both of those games by like significant margins, but I'm not imagining some people for some reason like Super Mario Galaxy 2. That said, for some reason, I have no idea.
For some reason, someone likes a
Part
Mario
of that you
game.
can't set traps or whatever you like about Bioshock 2.
It's just not a good platformer. I don't know. Like, play a lot of 3D platforms. It's not a good one of those.
Suit. There's a cloud suit.
I
There's
don't.
not enough libertarians for Sam.
I think the B suit not that good. The cloud suit bad.
B suit's in 1,
No, it's in this game. Just so you know.
but it debuts in 1.
Don't care. It shows up in this game. It's the only game, Super Mario Galaxy, I played.
But if you're talking about features of Galaxy 2, you got to bring up fucking Yoshi.
Yoshi's good. Yoshi's good.
There's good ass Yoshi stuff here.
The spring, though, all-time worst. Just the dirt worst. It doesn't show up a lot, so I can't count it too much, but it is one of the worst costumes in any Mario. It is the worst costume in any Mario game.
Don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know if I agree with that.
I don't know how you can't. I don't know what you're putting in.
I mean,
below
it is a very bad suit. I won't deny that. I'm just I need to look at a list before.
Yeah. Somebody needs to pull up
some
a
of the
list.
I need to like replay some of the like 3D Land, 3D World stuff.
Oh, 3D World's an all timer. So, well, I mean, we'll talk about
We'll
that.
talk about it.
So Vanquish 5, Galaxy 2 at 4, VVV at 3. Is that what we're landing on?
I can land on that. That's fair.
I love that. I love that for us.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Can
good.
someone
We'll
say
get-
what they like about VVVV?
it rocks.
Soundtrack, gameplay, length.
Soundtrack, yeah.
I mean, it's just such a tight experience, and I get that maybe it looks a little quaint now, but I mean, it's just one of those. It's like Portal 1. It's just one of those games that's like you can sit and beat it in like a sitting or two, and it's just this perfect little experience.
Also better than Portal 1. So
No.
I was literally I decided I'd just like replay some of the levels, like the first little bit of it, literally right before we recorded this, just so I can without a doubt say that it holds up. It's such a tight game. Like controls the music. Like when we talk about soundtracks down the line, when we do a soundtrack list, like this is going to be a very strong contender.
yes,
Like, and yeah, like Skylar said, it like on the surface it looks like quaint, and like we've talked about the indie, like the first few indie games and like how well they've held up. I think of all of the like opening indie era games that we've talked about for this year, this is the best one. This is the one that's held up the most, and a lot of that is just because it is such a like tight experience.
also you can play it on like fucking anything.
You can play it on anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember like when this game came, like before this game came out, they released the demo on like Newgrounds or something. Because yeah, it was made in Flash.
Yeah, this is not a genre I resonate with.
Good games.
a good game.
Once
All
again,
right.
cool shit.
I
Okay,
don't
real-
like massive core platformers. This is not my thing, but
Yeah, I would say before we get to 1 and 2, because I feel like we're pretty good about this. Should we move near up to number 2? Because
so
I
it's
feel
Fallout
like
New Vegas or Civilization 5.
Yeah. Near deserves the spot that it has. It's done very well for itself. It has acquitted itself super well.
Personally, I would be okay with switching Rock Band 3 and Nier. That's just me. But
I would be too.
fuck off.
To be
Well,
honest.
I was about to say that's
Absolutely
actually
not.
kind of that's
Absolutely
actually messed
not.
up. Maybe
Absolutely
I
not.
don't do that. Maybe that's a little
I would. All I'm saying is I would not relitigate Nier because I'm not sure it's going to go in the right direction for you.
Well, you can't litigate. You don't even know. This is like a court trial
What-
where you
what
all don't even
if-
know the evidence. You've never played the
welcome to
game. And that's
America,
on
bitch.
you.
Don't worry. I made an important change. I think this is a fair
Okay.
spot.
Okay. Let's calm it down here. Don't make
So
me.
slow-
I'm putting StarCraft 2 back on this list.
No, no. Oh no.
So are we switching Rock Band 3 with Nier? Is that what I heard for sure?
I
Alright,
don't
no,
think so.
alright.
I
We'll
think
keep
As
it
long as we
as
don't
is.
touch Nier again and don't bring it up, we can keep
We'll
it at 7.
We'll keep it as is, but New Vegas is number 1.
Civilization 5, number 1. I don't want this to go down to just a vote, but
I don't
Is it-
either.
this is a dangerous game to play.
Yeah, this is.
Civ 5. Okay, let me go on.
Let's before we put it to a vote. Let's hashtag have the conversation. Charles Barkley voice start the dialogue.
Oh no.
Let's just break down the case of both games.
So I'll start with Civilization 5. So before Civ 5, I had never played a Civ game. I never had a computer that could run one. I really didn't get like super into PC gaming in general till about 2010, 2011. I didn't really expect it to like resonate with me in a way where like I kept going back to it. But as far as like turn-based strategy games go, I think Civ 5 makes it not simple enough, but makes it easy enough where new players can jump in and play. Because I mean, we're talking about 15-year-old Tanner here, like fucking playing Civ 5, and I don't. It's just so fucking good. It feels good. I would still to this day rather play Civ 5 than Civ 6.
My friend group plays 5 over 6.
Yeah, like I think it has that going for it. 2 amazing expansions, in my opinion. I think the different paths to victory is good, which whatever, been in Civ forever, whatever. I just think it's the total package. I don't know if there will ever be a strategy game that resonates with me in such a way that Civ 5 did. And I really didn't think I would be making a case for Civ 5 at number 1, but as we've started and like over this, I'm like, man, yeah, Civ 5 is truly like one of the best games ever. I think it truly like transcends the whole fucking genre in a way. I don't know what it will take to dethrone Civ 5.
Yeah, so I said previously that was probably the game I've played the most, and I actually lied. We won't talk about that game until like 2015. But Civ 2 is definitely the second on my list. Like you said, kind of I've been playing Civ since I was a kid. I played Civ 2 with my brother. So I've been in on the series since then. I've played every one, but there's something about 5 that's just so accessible to players like that. Like my friends, like I was the only one other than me and my brother that played like Civ 2 or 3, partially because I was just not a lot of kids my age were into strategy games, but like even 4, but 5 was the one that just really hit, and like I said, I'm like still playing somewhat regularly. Like when my friends like actually have the time for a game of Civ. So yeah, it's just kind of like the gold standard of the turn-based strategy game for me.
Yeah, and it rocks.
yes,
I mean,
best Civ game and one of the best series ever.
That's the thing too. This is for me, anyways. This is the pinnacle of Civ, and I'll tell the story since people talk like their friend groups play Civ. So I play Civ 5, my dad, and that's something. It's like sometimes that's how we connect through games, especially games like Civ, where it's like we're competing, but not really. So it's like we're just taking our turns. It's not like as combative, not pitting each other against each other, but still kind of everyone's trying to progress. Everyone's trying to still win, kind of like a board game. But I live across the country from my father, so games like this, from like a social aspect, and that's kind of a key thing for me, even back in 2010, are kind of how I connect with a lot of people, including my friends and family. So like that's what kind of puts Civ 5 over top for me, because I have those memories attached to them. In addition to, it's the best Civ game from my perspective. So there's a lot in there. There's a lot going on with Civ 5.
I think Civ 4 might still be my favorite.
It's tough.
But that's also because I like Civ 3 a lot, and Civ 4 feels like the best Civ 3 imaginable.
Mm-hmm.
But Civ 5 feels like, okay, we're starting to get to that next place in the game's life cycle. And Civ 6 feels like not the best Civ 5, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, Civ 6 is still good. I don't want to say like Civ 5 is the anomaly here, because I've went back and I've played Civ 4 and I've played Civ 6. Civ 5 is just the best game in a very good series of games.
And a high quality series like that, it sets the bar.
Yeah. And if we're talking about, I know people have brought up arguments for other games against like game breaking bugs. If we're talking about a game that was a little too hot off the presses coming up, Fallout New Vegas. I mean, Civ 5 came out fucking flawless. Fallout New Vegas came out
on fire.
Yeah.
Super ultra mega on fire. But
I will say
it's here in spite of that. Yeah.
Civ 5 crashed today on me, so rip.
You have a good computer?
I have a good computer, yeah.
Did you have a good computer in 2010?
I do think that like all of these stories, I mean, clearly all of us have like some story, some level of nostalgia, some like great level of heart and care for Civilization 5, which I think does make it pretty obvious that it could be number one. But the problem is New Vegas is just way better. It's like it doesn't. I don't care about like your relationship with your dad or anything. Like New Vegas is better. I'm sorry. Like New Vegas is the best quest design like in any 3D RPG ever. The amount of branching paths, the amount of different game states that you can get yourself in is like such a dense masterwork of both story design and also programming. Like the reason there are so many bugs in this game is because there are 5,000 games crammed into this thing. There are so many different ways to end the story. There's so many different ways to experience the world. It has just flat out like 3 out of the 4 DLCs are like absolute bangers, like great story, some of the best story content in the game. The writing is like really, really funny, really, really sophisticated, really, really charming and endearing, and the characters are really recognizable and memorable. If we're going on stories, so in 2010, I met Ken Rolston, who wrote Morrowind and Oblivion, was sort of like the lead story designer at Bethesda for a long time, and I asked him what did it mean to be like a sophisticated game? Because I was like, I don't think there's really any sophisticated game storytelling right now. As we've gone through, a lot of the stories in these games sort of either non-existent or like flat out sucks. And he was like, yeah, I get what you mean, but in these games, especially Morrowind, he defended it's like that was maybe like one of the first, of the 3D big budget RPGs, one of the first ever like sophisticated games, because there's just so much you can do and so many different distinct game states you can do. And at the time, New Vegas had just came out and was like, yeah, New Vegas is like the logical successor to Morrowind. It's like the new Morrowind. There's really no games that are trying to do that now. I mean, certainly Skyrim and like Fallout 4, like didn't really try to do that at all. There's really no one has picked up the baton from here because Obsidian is making much smaller games. That just don't have as big of a budget, but also just not as big of a scope or a reach that they're desiring for. and that really sucks. And I think we have to celebrate a game like this because it comes around once a generation. And also with mods, like you do need mods. There's I get the criticism, but
That's the one like caveat I have
Yeah.
for putting it like
yeah, like Civ 5 is awesome, lovely game. I spent like y'all hours and hours and hours and hours losing like life to that game. But I think that Civilization 6 is maybe a little bit better nowadays. I mean, with all the bells and whistles. And I maybe have a tiny bit more nostalgia for like Civ 3. So I think that if we are looking at this game, like Bronson said earlier, like we are looking at influence, we are looking at their place in history. We're looking at like what these games mean to the broader tapestry of this decade. I think New Vegas is the one. So thanks for letting me cook, but it was necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at either of these games being number one.
Yeah,
Because they're
definitely
like
not.
my personal number 1 and 2. I think my actual, like, it looks like my top 4 is all going to be our top 4. So I can't be too mad in general. Fallout New Vegas, great game. One of the, like, it really is a cornerstone in like game storytelling with just the pure density of what you can do. Like it took kind of what you saw in like Fallout 3 and just went, like, I love Fallout 3, but New Vegas just feels like, when you're talking about modern Fallout, you talk about New Vegas specifically. Like Fallout 3 is great. For mixed results, it has its defenders, but like Fallout New Vegas is what you talk about when you talk about modern Fallout. But God, I still really love Civ 5. This is hard.
So okay. So I'm also going to say, Skylar, one thing you mentioned is that Fallout New Vegas like not necessarily needed mods, but it's a better experience with mods. I played this on console when it came out. I have never experienced Fallout New Vegas with mods. So I guess, and don't get me wrong, I still think New Vegas is a great game. I'm kind of in the same boat as everybody else. Like, it's not like New Vegas being one would make me upset, because I do think these are both great games. I do think they're deserving of our 1 and 2 spots wherever they fall. But for me personally, as far as a out of the gate package, I think Civ 5 is better. I know we're talking about, New Vegas has had all this influence. Nobody has, like you said, picked up the baton since, Obsidian dropped New Vegas. But at the same time, at least in my eyes, I think Civ 5 is also sort of in. I just don't think Civ 5 gets talked about as much, because obviously something like New Vegas is a lot more accessible than a turn-based strategy game like Civ 5. But I think they're both genre-defying games in their own way. And I just like Civ 5 a little bit more. Civ 5 surprised me more, because I fucking loved Fallout 3. Fallout 3 is one of my favorite games of all, probably maybe my favorite game of all time.
And I don't even know if I agree with Civilization 5 coming up less. It's just kind of like, it feels like Fallout New Vegas comes up a lot as far as like, influence on new games. But like Civilization 5 still pops up in friend groups of,
oh yeah,
we're still playing
absolutely.
this. So it's like, it maybe didn't influence the next 13 years of games. Oh, that's because people are just still playing it 13 years later.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, do I really hold that against it in the same way? I don't love Fallout New Vegas. I feels like that, like, I'll be the outliers. Like, oh, there's one game I definitely do not prefer against Civilization 5. That's all I got. That's all I got here. I'm hoping Civilization 5 pulls ahead.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think everybody's made really good points of both these games, but I feel like the only way we're going to get a 1 and a 2 is take it to a vote.
Okay, we can do a vote.
I mean,
That's fine. I think I see where the wind is leaning, but I'm okay with the vote. I felt like I said my piece.
all right, let's do it alphabetical. Bronson, Civ 5 for Fallout.
We'll do Civ 5.
Chris,
Civ 5.
Sam,
Civ 5.
Skylar.
Near. Oh wait. Fallout New Vegas.
All right, and then I would be Civ 5 too. So 4-1.
Very, very good. Like in other years, like already looking ahead at some years, like I think New Vegas would win, but Civ 5 is a juggernaut for me.
Yeah, I'm in the exact same boat. Civ 5 is just that fucking good. It's amazing. Just talking about it now has got me like itching to play it right now. Like
I have the same problem where like I don't even think it was in my top 10 when I like went through the list, but now that we've talked about it, I'm like, God, Civ 5 rocks. Like it's such a good game.
It's fucking good.
Yeah. Man, do you want to read off the 10 like in reverse order?
Yeah, okay, here we go. So our top 10 games of 2010, going from 10 to 1. Number 10, we got Halo Reach. Number 9, Ghost Trick Phantom Detective. Number 8, Rock Band 3. Number 7, Nier. Number 6, Red Dead Redemption. Number 5, Vanquish. Number 4, Super Mario Galaxy 2. Number 3, VVV. Number 2, Fallout New Vegas. And number 1, our 2010 Game of the Year, Civilization 5. Wow. I'll be honest, not how I saw that list happening at all.
Yeah, justice for Kirby's Epic Yarn.
What did you think like was gonna happen that didn't happen, or like what was surprising to you?
Mass Effect 2 not being on the list is
Mass Effect 2
right?
is one that's pretty surprising. That seemed sort of surprising. I guess that's the big one. I definitely thought there would be some more pushback for Battlefield getting cut like it did.
Yeah, I've been using Glitchwave as a good resource for figuring out when games came out and what is sort of like a snapshot of popular games. And Mass Effect 2 is number 4 for 2010 for them. But the rest of it is pretty chalk for us. New Vegas, Galaxy 2, Ghost Trick, Red Dead, Nier, Civ 5. Like I think we covered a lot of like the canon of 2010.
Yeah. And it's funny too because like 2010 isn't a year that I'm like gung ho. Like 2010 I thought would be one of the easier years for us. That was proven not the case because some hearts got broken. Some Kirby's did not epic yarn. But I'm pretty happy with the list. I don't know where everybody else sits on it.
I'm not mad. Like most of my top 10 is here.
Yeah, Sam, what else was on your top 10? Because it seemed like you had the most outliers or like stuff.
Oh yeah, I had 2 games from my top 10. Yeah, wow. It was tough.
What else, Sam? Yeah, I'm curious. What else?
I mean, BioShock, Alan Wake, Mountain Blade, Warband, 1, 2, 3 being taken out were the biggest ones there. But you know what? It is what it is. We roll with the punches, and we get to 2011 in 6 months, where I admittedly have have stronger feelings on some of those games as far as love and adoration.
Yeah, that's my thing too. Like I have a lot more memories of a lot more games from 2011 than I do 2010, and I'm sure our 2011 list is only going to get bigger up until we record, because right now there's only 27 games on our 2011 list.
Yeah, I think we kind of stopped working ahead
Yeah.
because we already had so many games on 2010.
Yeah. At some point we were like, okay, we actually have to record these at some point. So, all right. I guess we'll roll into plugs. I guess we'll do alphabetical order like we've been doing. So, Bronson, take us away.
I have nothing to plug.
Damn. Awesome. Chris?
You can listen to me and Tanner talk about wrestling on this same podcast feed. I believe it's the same
Yes.
podcast feed. You can listen to Muscle Orchestra. We just released episode 3, if that interests you at all. That's what I've got.
Excellent. Sam?
You can follow me on Twitter at Concrete1992 and follow the We Don't Know Wrestling Pods at WDKWPN on Twitter.
All right. Skylar, you got anything to plug?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter. TWWITTERDOTCOM, twitter.com with 2 W's. Also, play Hi-Fi Rush, a game put out by your friends at Bethesda Softworks in conjunction with Tango Gameworks. Very, very good game. Play Redfall, comes out next week, I think.
Well, it comes out yesterday at the time this releases.
Yeah, well, shows how good of a employee I am. And support ZeniMax Workers United, the QA union under the Bethesda Softworks umbrella, in bargaining process with Microsoft as we speak. And that's it.
All right. You can follow me on Twitter at Tanner1495. Thank you for listening. Skylar mentioned Hi-Fi Rush. Go listen to the latest episode of Backlog Boys, where Colt and I do a full-on spoiler-filled review of Hi-Fi Rush. I did a whole stream of it. That's on the AllYouCanHear YouTube page. You can check that out at AYCH Podcast on YouTube. AllYouCanHear on YouTube. Follow the Twitter feed of the podcast at AYCH Podcast to get up-to-the-minute news. Again, listen to Backlog Boys, listen to Muscle Orchestra, listen to the main show. And who knows when the next one of these will come out. But guess what? We did one of them, so now we're committed. All right. Well, I guess that does it. Any last words for anyone? All right, great. Here we go.
Go Nier. Nier Automata, game of the decade.
Oh, okay. Let's hold on now. All right. Bye, everyone.